All right, everybody, and we're live. Welcome back to Horsetooth Cinema. It's my first live stream in a long time, and very happy to be back. But we can't miss the annual tradition that we have here on the channel, which we've been doing at least for the last 3 years, and many more to come. So yeah, I'm very happy to have Leon Talks Film, also known as Top Secrets, here.
Hi, hello, thank you for having me, as always. These streams are always just delightful, and we talk for like 7 hours about some great films and some terrible films, but we're focusing on the good films today, which is good.
This is true. We are focusing on the good ones. Although, I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit more excited for the worst of the year than I was last year. Because, like, last year, for me, it was like a bunch of slop that I was just not excited to talk about. Whereas this year, there's like some more interesting ones, I feel like.
You weren't excited to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine?
I was not excited to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, especially when a lot of people liked it. And I was just like, okay.
But it's such a good movie.
Right. But yeah, no, maybe we'll do that later this week or something. But no, today we are talking the best films of 2025. And so like we did last year, I guess I'll sort of start this off with, anytime you do one of these end of the year lists, there's always movies that, you just didn't get around to seeing in time. And there's just, I have limited time and there's just too many things that I want to see out there to get around to everything. So I've got a short little list here. If anything comes to mind, you can mention some as well, or if any that I mention are also ones for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the ones I wrote down here were Sirat, which is this like French thriller that has been kind of took festivals by storm, and I think has been really people have been kind of eating it up, but I haven't had a chance to see it yet. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which I don't have an excuse for not seeing, really. You do, as I think you were just telling me it's not out in the UK yet.
Yes, comes out in like February here, so I can count it as next year's, thankfully.
Hopefully, but yeah, for me, I just didn't get around to it, and I wish I did because I heard great things from a lot of people. So, Dracula, which is the new film from Radu Jude. I forget. Yes. I think is how you pronounce his name. It is not an adaptation of Dracula, really, or sort of it is, but I think it's about somebody trying to adapt Dracula, but they're using entirely AI to do it. And the movie is sort of a satire on what AI does to art, and it has a lot of just like intentionally generated AI slop, and at almost 3 hours, that is a bit of an ask, but I've heard it's pretty interesting. I do want to check it out. Yeah. Die My Love was one I didn't get around to. Maybe we'll talk about, I don't know how you ended up feeling about that. I think you liked it, right?
It was fine. It was fine. I wasn't like huge on it. I think there's some very, very excellent performances in there, but it's the first time I feel like it's the first time I feel like I watched I was watching a Lynn Ramsey film and I was like, we've seen this before. Like, it's the first time where she kind of feels like she's just playing the hits, but not in a way that really... Yeah, I don't know. It didn't really work for me all too well, but great performances. Jennifer Lawrence, great, and Robert Pattinson, great, but he's always great.
Yeah, no, for sure. It sounds really fun, or not like fun, but like it's like an interesting direction for her, I should say. Maybe I think generally speaking, describing a Lynn Ramsey movie as fun is not a good move, but
I was gonna say, like, that film is like
miserable. There we go. We got the first sort of blemish for me on the stream. Anyway, the Sentimental Value, which we talked about a little bit before we jumped on, comes out for you in January, right?
Yeah, I think it's playing at my cinema in January, so I'm going to count it. But I think it had a limited release Boxing Day onwards over here, but I think I'm just going to count it for next year because I won't be able to see it until then. Same for Marty Supreme, which I'm really...
Oh, that's the Marty Supreme one sucks because I heard that it does have some release in the UK on like the day after Christmas, right?
Yes,
But that might just might
and
be
it
in
just
bigger
wasn't.
cities or something.
Yeah, it's playing
Yeah.
nowhere near me. Like I looked, like even at the local cinemas. But I booked my ticket. I'm seeing it on the first showing on Thursday, on January 1st. I'm very excited.
I can't wait for you to see it.
Oh,
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
yes.
The Ugly Stepsister is one I haven't gotten around to yet, and I'm always up for some good, really gross body horror.
I'm covering that for Blueprint. There's a Second Sight 4K of that coming out soon. So if you want to watch that sometime early next year, please let me know and you can tag along for that. Cause,
yeah, that'd be super fun.
I really want to see that.
Yeah, no, it looks super cool. I remember seeing the trailers and just was like, this looks awesome. And then I just never got around to see it. And I'm mad at myself for that. These next two, I actually am not sure if I'm going to like, but they're big like awards movies. So I just figured I'd mention them. Hamnet, I haven't seen, and Jay Kelly. Two movies that honestly just do not sound very interesting or like up my alley, but you know, they're getting a lot of love from some people. So more like Ham. Was it who said was it Matt what is his name on Letterboxd?
Lynch?
Yeah, Matt Lynch. He was like more like Ham not or something like that. But anyway, the last two I have here are Blue Moon by Richard Linklater, which I'm more interested in this one than I am in his Nouvelle Vague movie, but you know, Ethan Hawke doing kind of a 40s throwback thing sounds cool. And then last one, I really enjoyed the first movie of this, and I've heard the sequel's pretty good, so I'm gonna throw in Sisu 2.
I want to see Sisu 2 at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for my list, I missed a lot of the really good films this year, so I'm like kind of disappointed I didn't see Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the live action Lilo and Stitch, the live action How to Train Your Dragon, Karate Kid Legends looked really good. Elio looked amazing. Bridget Jones 4, I can't believe I didn't see that. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I Know What You Did Last Summer, but not the original, the new one that's called I Know What You Did Last Summer. And finally, I know it was going to crack my top 2, but I didn't see Anaconda, unfortunately. So I've missed out on some of the real like big hitters this year. It's a shame. It's a shame.
I'm kicking myself just as much for missing out on Anaconda. Like that just looked riveting. No John Voight, which is of course how you should do an Anaconda movie. Oh god,
Jack Black in it. I love Jack Black.
Oh, I love Jack Black.
So good.
I actually do really like Jack Black, depending on the movie. Sometimes his shtick gets a little annoying, but and I know this is like the big one of like, oh, he's doing something completely different. But Bernie is so
Bernie's
good.
Great. He's great in Bernie. Yeah. I love Bernie.
And he's not even completely doing a non-Jack Black performance as well. Like he's kind of using the Jack Black persona and personality to do something different. But
yeah, no, I like Bernie. I think Bernie's like one of the better Linklater movies, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's really good. But yeah, that was it for me. Do you have any more stuff that you didn't get to see?
Real ones.
Okay, real ones.
Cream. Let me go see, because I've got the 2025 thing up here right now. So I would have liked to see that new A24 film Eternity, as well as Sorry Baby. I didn't get around to those.
Oh yeah, I did catch up with Sorry Baby. It was good, and it was like a solid 3-star movie for me. I didn't think it was as good as people had been talking about, but it's a good movie, yeah, for sure.
I'd like to see. I haven't seen the last 2 Mission Impossible movies, so I would like to see the last one that they just did, but I didn't see the one from a couple of years ago, so I need to catch up on those in general. I'm looking to see what films here actually are 2025 films for me and not 2026 ones.
Right.
I would have liked to see. Is it Left-Handed Girl? It's the one that's written and edited by Sean Baker and directed by the co-director of Takeout. I'm completely blanking on her name, but I really wanted to see that, and I'm kind of bummed I didn't get to see that before the year was over.
That's a good shout. I definitely had that one circled. Because Takeout is like one of my favorite Sean Baker movies at this point.
I
And
really need to see it. I really
and yeah, here to see that she was doing kind of her own thing, and that but you said Sean Baker produced it, I think, still, right?
he produced it. He has a writing credit. He might be the only writer on it, and he edited the movie.
He edited
so
it.
It's
That's
like
right. Okay.
very much like
Very involved.
a Baker project. I would have liked to see Lurker. I didn't get around to seeing Lurker, and I heard that was really good. Dead of Thieves 2, I really would have liked to see. That film Resurrection by the director of that one movie, Long Day's Journey into Night.
Oh yeah, Be Gone. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would have really liked to see Resurrection. That one sounds like absolutely nutty in a good way. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I'm like really rushing to. There's a lot I would have liked to see, but I think I'm pretty content with what I ended up seeing, because I watched, like, I don't know how many films you've got on your like ranked list this year. How many films did I watch?
I think I have 72, which is more than last year, but I think that's about in line with years past, to be honest. That's like a pretty average for me, I would say.
I'm at 126 right now.
That's pretty fucking good.
I've watched a good amount this year, I think.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's been a pretty good year for film.
Yeah, and everybody in the comments, let us know how many films you've seen this year.
Yes.
But we'll go ahead and get into some comments real quick before we do honorable mentions.
Absolutely.
We've got Brady here. Hey, Brady, Fortnite, more like fart night.
Yes.
Marty Supreme, more like Marty 3 out of 10. Brady does have a bit of a hot take on Marty Supreme. It's not 3 out of 10 hot take, but
no, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, pretty sure 7 out of 10. Yeah, no, we had a little conversation about it. And I can definitely see where he's coming from. Maybe when I get to Marty Supreme later, I'll talk about like issues I can see with the film that like, weren't there for me, kind of thing. But yeah. Got Josh in the house. Good to see you, man. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Hey, hi.
He's asking us if we saw Urchin, a great film.
No, I want to see that. That's from the co-lead of your favorite movie of this year, Baby Girl. He directed that, I think.
Oh, really?
That guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've not seen that.
I need to see that. So.
Yeah, I do as well. Because what else did he star in before Baby Girl? There was something like I remember feeling like I kind of liked him, even though I was not
so
a
I
big
like
fan.
him in Baby Girl. I know you don't like that movie. I kind of like that movie.
That's fair. Oh yeah, he was in Triangle of Sadness, which I didn't see, but I kind of know a little bit about it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check that out at some point. Yeah, I've heard mostly good things.
Oh yeah.
The sooner our group chat recognizes Kung Fu Panda as peak, the better. So that's fair, man. That's fair.
Yeah, sure.
Just got Marty Supreme now in the top 5. Yeah.
It's not playing anywhere near me.
I know. How'd you see it, Josh? I'm curious. But no, anyway. Brady says, oh, Brady's doing his ranking here. Okay, so One Battle After Another, 28 Years Later, Sinners, Weapons, Eddington. Nice. That's good. That's a good 5.
Well, that's a pretty good 5.
I think we'll have a little bit of overlap at some point. Josh says I'm at 135. In terms of amount of movies watched, that is pretty impressive.
More than me. Yeah.
That's pretty good. both you and Josh are lapping the field on me. I think Josh almost has me doubled up then. So that's the point. We've got Lucas in the house. Hey man, how's it going?
Hi.
He says I can't wait to watch Marty Supreme.
Oh
yeah, it's big event. I'm super happy. It's making quite a bit of money so far in its opening weekend, and I don't think its budget's huge enough to where it's going to have a hard time, like making a profit. I think it's like 60 million.
It's like the most expensive A24 project, right?
Really? Oh, it can't be. I think
I'm pretty sure
Civil War's got to cost more than Marty Supreme.
I don't know. I mean,
we'll have to check. Okay. But I mean, it's already made like half its budget back in its opening weekend. So that's a good start.
Budget of 70 million.
Yeah, I thought Civil War was more than that for some reason. Maybe I'm
I thought
wrong.
Civil War was only 50.
Okay.
Let
Uh,
me go check.
Gotcha.
I
Lucas
love.
also says here that his favorite of the year is Sinners, which I think we'll definitely be talking about at
Oh
some
yeah.
point.
Civil War was 50 million. I don't know
50.
why I
Okay.
remember that.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know Marty Supreme was their most expensive project, but I'm not shocked. Did it the period piece detail and just like all the sets and location work they did and just the big names that are in the movie, like it makes sense for sure. And the
Yeah,
runtime. Um and Lucas is at 98 films this year. Yep, you beat me,
not too
man.
bad. That's good.
That's very
That's good.
good. Alrighty, well, yeah, I guess we can go ahead and jump into some honorable mentions here. I'll let you go first since I went first last time for the ones I didn't get to see.
Okay. So I'm not gonna go into great detail on these films because otherwise we'll be here all day. But I would like to for like I want to go, and this sounds ridiculous, but I do mean like a sentence or two for each of these. I'm gonna go from 40 on my list because I think it's been that good of a year. So 40 Match. It's a Tubi horror movie. I showed it to you. Absolutely insane. If you've got some thoughts on this one and it makes your like honorable mentions even just as a fun watch, we'll talk about that a bit more. Great movie. Megadoc, really really fun behind the scenes look at the creation of the greatest movie of the decade, Megalopolis. F1 was awesome.
F1
I
was fun.
rewatched F1 with my stepdad and mum the other day. Perfect parent fodder. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like the best movie to show parents. Weapons is a good time. Baby Girl is a good time. I really liked Presents by Steven Soderbergh. Not his best of the year, but it's pretty great. Really liked Wake Up Dead Man. A lot more than Glass Onion. I thought it was a quite a big improvement over Glass Onion actually. I liked the new Silent Night, Deadly Night quite a bit. I
Really?
thought I thought it was really fun.
Okay.
Um,
I haven't seen it, so I'm not judged. I bet it's just kind of funny. Like a horror remake of like a really schlocky franchise, like typically does not go well.
no,
But
I thought it was quite fun. It has Corey Cunningham in it. So
this
I
is
was
true.
always
This is true.
I was gonna go into it a little biased just because of that, because I love him in Halloween Ends. But no, really, really fun time. I'm gonna shout it out. K-pop Demon Hunters, really good, really good. Drop was
Drop was
really
fun.
fun. I really liked Drop. I liked Havoc, the new Tom Hardy movie with Gareth. Is it the Gareth Evans, the director, the guy who did the Raid movies?
I think so. I always mix up him and is it Gareth Edwards or Garrett
Yeah,
Ed?
yeah, the
Yeah, it's
Godzilla
I
guy.
mix
It's
them
really
up
they've got very
constantly.
similar names.
Yeah.
Dead Male, which is a Shudder original film that kind of goes for this like it's like shot on 16 or at least like filmed to look like it was shot on 16. Really, really eerie like film that no one spoke about this year. Dead Male's awesome. Flow, the animated movie about the cat was great.
Just a little quick side note. I got that on Criterion for Christmas. My
Hell yeah.
sister-in-law. Yeah, no,
Have you seen Flow? I forget.
I haven't seen it yet. Actually, I meant
Okay.
to watch it before the Oscars last year, and yeah, I didn't get around to it. But I mean, now perfect excuse to watch it.
Yes. Let me know
It's
what you
a
think.
Latvian animation made on a like public like a free animation
Yeah, made
service,
on
right? Yeah,
Blender, I think it was, or
so
something
cool.
like that. Black Bag,
Yeah,
awesome movie.
yeah,
I fucking loved Black Bag.
I did too.
I kind of wanted to rewatch it before the end of the year, and maybe I will, because I had such a good time watching that in the cinema. The best Soderbergh of the year. Baby Invasion was really fun. I got to shout out Baby Invasion.
You shouted out.
It was a lot higher on my list initially, but it's a good time.
Higher in quotation marks for the wink wink. How you should watch it.
Oh, higher, higher. I watched
Ah,
it very sober. I should have watched it.
so did I. That was a mistake.
The Shrouds, New
Nice.
Cronenberg. I really, really loved The Shrouds. I thought it was great. One of his better like later era, like late style stuff because I'm a bit mixed on the later like the past 15 years of Cronenberg. I think Crimes of the Future is pretty good. Cosmopolis is fine. I love Maps to the Stars. I think Maps to the Stars is like really great. But like overall, I'm pretty mixed on his like more recent-ish output. I thought The Shroud was great. A Real Pain, which kind of was 2024 for most people, but it came out January here. The Pee Wee Herman documentary, Pee Wee as himself,
Right.
HBO Max original, produced by the Safdie brothers of all people. Really, really great documentary. Uh, you're gonna love this one. 22. Don't worry, I'm speeding through these. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, I really loved. I thought it was really good. I got to see it on the big screen, and I was like, "Damn, this looks amazing." And then
I did too, for the record. It did look really good on the big screen.
Oh, I was like, you know something? I think this is just one of those rare occasions where Del Toro's like magic's really working for me. I loved Jacob Elordi in the movie. Oscar Isaac as a tech bro is really funny and didn't bother me like most people, but I get the complaints. I just liked it. I'm not like an adaptation purist most of the time, so
Yeah.
like I like the '90s Mario movie. I just like right before we got on call, I just watched the Arnold version of The Running Man, like the original Running Man adaptation. I think it clears the Edgar Wright one, but the Edgar Wright one's more faithful. I'm just fine with adaptations being their own thing, and
that's totally fine. I just I think you can definitely like I mean, you can do your own thing for sure. I just, for me, it was kind of doing his own thing to just kind of make the same movie that he's been making in the past like 10 years. I was like, if you're gonna deviate from I think you either want to do like a very faithful adaptation like of the themes, or you want to do something very different. That kind of works better. I don't know. It didn't work as well for me as I wanted it to, but I understand people having it on their list, and like I definitely understand. It's gonna like, it seems like it is getting some like Oscar attention, at least for like the technical categories. I think it'll
get a Best Picture nom.
Probably, but we'll see. Yeah. The Academy really does like him, so
I think it's probably the best thing he's made in a while. I was gonna say something then, but I think it would have really annoyed you.
Is it about Nightmare Alley?
I think it might be my favorite thing he's made since Crimson Peak.
Oh, okay. Also not one I love, but I get it. If you like that era, if you like the gothic Del Toro, not really focusing on the substance of the story.
I was trying to think. I was like, what's the last film I really love from them? And I was like, oh, it's another one you don't like. I was like, no, I shouldn't say that, but I had to.
That's fair enough.
I'll quickly brush through the last like 10 or so. So Black Phone 2. Awesome movie. It is so good. Such an improvement over the first boring ass movie. I mean,
also, Brady just wanted to shout out Jackson 40-minute passionate rant about Black Phone 2 when
Black Phone 2 is awesome. Let's talk about this real quick. It's so much fun. It's such an improvement over that last one, I think.
There's a lot more style for sure. Like I really appreciated that. It's quite a bit longer, right? Like doesn't it?
Like the same. It's not. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Let me check. So this one's like an hour 54.
Yeah.
And the first one is the first one's an hour and 43. So it's like 10 minutes longer.
Yeah. I did appreciate that the first one sort of it definitely needed more style, which this one has, but I think the first one had a little bit stronger of like a story in terms of like the characterization and like doing this sort of Stephen King thing of like, lonely kids in small towns who are, kind of have, abusive or just troubled, home situations.
Yeah.
I thought that one did it better than this one, but again, like it was so much fun. Like I can't not appreciate, the grabber playing hockey. So, it's
it's so much fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
Okay, last few. This is like my 20 to 10, and then I'm going to stop. So, Last Stop in Yuma County. Really, really awesome, low budget kind of like Tarantino-y riff. I interviewed the director. It's on YouTube and Blueprint review. Go read or watch or whatever. Really, really cool guy. He's directing one of the new Evil Dead movies, so I'm very excited for that. Restless, which is a British thriller that I had no idea about until the Red Letter Media boys covered it. I think Mike watched it on like not Tubi. What's that thing he watches? Voodoo. He caught it
Voodoo,
on
right?
Voodoo or
Yeah.
something. Really great little movie. Restless is awesome. If you've ever had like annoying neighbors who play music too loud, this film will upset you greatly. But it's really good. It's really good. The Surfer with Nicolas Cage.
Really fun.
Amazing Cage performance. It's super stylized and such a fun like throwback to like exploitation cinema and stuff, and it really, really worked for me. The Life of
Yeah, if you like
Chuck.
Wake and Fright, like it's pretty
Yes,
much
I
Wake and
need to see
Fright.
Wake and Fright, but from what I've heard, it seems very, very similar. The Life of Chuck for surprising me by in two ways. One, well, three ways even. Stephen King adaptations can still be good. Whoa.
Hmm.
Mike Flanagan can make good movies.
This is true. This is
Whoa.
true.
I don't hate Mark Hamill in a movie. Whoa. No, really, really good movie. It has one of my favorite sequences of the year, and it's delightful. It's charming. It's great.
Yeah.
The People's Joker.
Cool.
Great Vera Drew movie. Really, really fun use of like IP. To I don't know. Like it circumvents copyright law and like fair use in a really interesting way, but it's also just really awesome to see somebody take some like character like the Joker and essentially use that as a vehicle for like transitioning and stuff. It's awesome. People's
Mhm.
Joke is great. Hard Truths, which is a Mike Lee movie, really, really great. Very miserable, but it's a Mike Lee movie. The Phoenician Scheme, the new Wes Anderson movie. I completely
Yeah, this
blanked
one
on.
hurt to not put on the list also for me.
It's
But
very, very close
it's
for
very
me.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, no, great. Michael Cera's so good in that movie. And no, I think it's like one of the better recent Wes Anderson movies. I really liked The French Dispatch. I didn't care for Asteroid City very much. And then I wasn't huge on like the Isle. I wasn't huge on Isle of Dogs, so it
Right.
was
Yeah.
nice to see like one of his features just really
Yeah.
wow me again.
So for you, it's probably his best movie since like Grand Budapest Hotel. Is that accurate? Or
Probably, I'd say so. I think I like it just a bit more than the French Dispatch. So yeah,
okay.
it's like
Yeah.
it's up there for me.
Yeah.
I really like the finale. That was a great time.
I did too.
And
Yeah.
also
It's
Del
definitely
Toro.
up there for me as far as I have to see if because I did really like Asteroid City, but I think I definitely do like Phoenician Scheme more than the French Dispatch, and probably
Yeah,
Asteroid City as well. I'd have to see how I'd reorder it, but I think it's kind of I kind of mentioned in my review. I think it's like his most obvious like emotional connection that he's had to any of his movies in a long time with the whole father
yeah.
daughter relationship. Like it's he's still doing all the formalism stuff that he likes to do. He's it's still an exercise for him. I think he would get bored just kind of trying to do the same thing over and over again. He's definitely like trying to make it interesting for himself, but he did it in a way that I think was more accessible and more emotional for me. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I had a great time with it. Speaking of great fun times for the family, Bring Her Back. It pains me not to have it higher. I know you weren't huge on Bring Her Back either.
I gotta rewatch it though, to be honest. It's one I need to revisit for sure.
It's so mean. It's so mean and nasty and horrible. Sally Hawkins, I said this when it came out, and I'm going to say it again. Sally Hawkins gives one of the great horror performances of the past 15 years. She is
very good.
In that
yeah.
Movie. The Bjork movie, Cornucopia, it's a live concert movie for the last few albums she's made. It premiered early on like Apple TV Plus or something, and then got a small theatrical release, and it was slightly extended. Really, really great time. I was very, very moved by that, which is not something I say very often for concert films, but I thought that was great. And then finally, it bums me out. It really bums me out that this isn't in my top 10, although considering there's like one part of my top 10 where it's like debatable whether it's one or two films, so this could technically crack it, but if it doesn't, I'm just gonna say The Naked Gun. The Naked Gun. It
Oh,
just missed it. Like, just. I
it hurts.
loved The Naked Gun. One of the great comedic performances of the past few years. Well, two, actually. Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. They're the best. I loved it. One of the best times I had at the movies this year. So much fun.
Well, I've got one. So I mean, it does hurt that that's not on your list, but at the same time, I really get like wrestling with these last few because I definitely was as well.
Yes.
And also I have one I think is definitely going to be that reaction for you. So that I really wanted to include, but like, and I can't believe it's not on my list, but it's not. But I will go through my I don't have quite as many, but I think we have a lot of overlap though, because like on some of the stuff that you mentioned, that was further back, I would definitely be an honorable mention for me as well. So yeah, I've got 28 Years Later, which was I think a really interesting sequel. I actually like it quite a little bit better than 28 Days Later. And I'm curious to see what the sequels are going to be like. I'm not super optimistic for this next one coming out, but I really enjoyed this one, and especially like where it goes in the third act. Wake Up Dead Man, for me, easily the best Knives Out movie. Just has the best mystery, the best cast, the best performance by Josh O'Connor. Great soundtrack too. Just a really fun time at the movies. Everybody I know who's seen it has just really enjoyed it for the most part.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I will echo your sentiment on Black Bag. Had a lovely time with that. Just a cool kind of like it's a cool sort of like spy thriller on the surface, but then when you kind of like break it down, like what it's actually doing in terms of its like satire and stuff, it reminded me a lot of Burn After Reading, just about these silly bureaucrats scheming against each other, and they're all very stupid and kind of getting in each other's way. That was fun.
I can see that.
And then one that we watched together that I definitely wanted to shout out, just as one of the most underrated movies of the year. What, like, low budget, just one of the most sort of do it yourself, like, fun movies to watch is this movie called Jimmy and Stiggs. Who's the director again? I forget his name.
Joe Begos.
Yeah, Joe Begos. He you might have seen his Severin Cellar video, and he's done other things like Christmas Bloody Christmas and Bliss is the other one I'm missing. Yeah. So this one I think he's been trying to make for 5 years or something like that, because it's very low budget and took a long time to put together. But basically, I think he came up with it during COVID, and it's just this. It's a movie that he set entirely in his apartment, and it's like an alien invasion thriller kind of thing. I don't want to spoil too much of where it goes, but at a certain point, he does transform his entire apartment into like the mothership, complete with like all this like Lovecraftian sort of like gooey deep like prosthetic detail on the walls and stuff, and it's just
so awesome.
It's just nuts. It's a really wild time. It's only 80 minutes, but yes, I would, if you're just looking for something underrated, I would definitely shout out Jimmy and Stiggs. The new Final Destination movie I really loved. I think it's my favorite one. I think it's my favorite one in the franchise. Just kind of, it has the best character work, but more than that, it's just got some of the best kills. Like what you come to a Final Destination movie for. Like the one in the hospital. Yeah, the MRI machine is just just crazy shit. I don't know. I just love the sickos. I hope they keep making more of these because these are so much fun. And then let's see, Den of Thieves 2 was really fantastic. I liked it a little bit more than the first one. I love all the like crazy European like bro humor in it. Like there's a scene where Gerard Butler's character is talking to like one of these gangsters they're gonna end up working with, and he's like, and they're all like really high on drugs in this club and everything, and he like goes up to him and he's like, I'm sorry we bombed you guys in the 90s, and they all start chanting fuck NATO. like
I
that's
see that. It seems so up my alley.
It's so fun. Lurker, really cool thriller, probably one of the best things that came out of Sundance last year. It's kind of like I think reminded me a lot of The King of Comedy, just like a movie about sort of trying to form a parasocial relationship with somebody, and kind of the consequences of that for both people involved. And one of the few modern movies about the internet that I think gets it right and isn't insulting to the audience's intelligence. And it also just looks great. It's got like this great 16 millimeter look to most of it. So really, really good. The Phoenician Scheme we talked about killed me to not put on the list. Here's the movie that I'm kicking myself for not putting it on, and I'm sure it's going to be on yours, but Eddington. Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised given how much you loved that movie. I
did love it. It's just, I think there's just other films that have like lingered in my mind a little bit, even though the immediate like week after I saw that, it was like all I was thinking about.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. It's been such a good year. Like, I think there's going to be some overlap in our top 10, but I think for the most part, we're going to have differing films, which just kind of highlights how strong of a year it's been. But, like, some of the films that probably made your, like, 11 to 15 either might be in my top 10 or, like, something, same vice versa to you. It's been a really, really strong year for film.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's kind of snuck up on me. Like, for a while, I was kind of thinking it was a down year. But especially as we've hit like the latter half, like I feel like there's been enough like big budget bangers and then smaller movies that have just, have just really impressed me as well. Like, I definitely have as many like 4-star movies as I usually do on my list, and I think just about as many 5s. So I've just got 4 more here on the honorable mentions. So I wasn't sure whether I should count this as this year or not, but I didn't really get a chance to mention it last year or see it. Cloud by Kiyoshi Kurosawa.
More will be discussed about Cloud later.
Okay, perfect. This I'm glad, because we're gonna have slightly different lists, and a lot of it's gonna be stuff that I barely didn't put on or you barely didn't put on. So, love Cloud's incredible. Another one that killed me not to put on, but the new Paul Schrader, Oh Canada.
That comes out in January over here, so that's going to be a 2026 movie for me, and I think it came out in like 2024 for some reason.
It technically did. I mean, like, a lot of people will have had it on their 2024 list, but I mean, it wasn't out at any kind of capacity when we did our list last year. So I'm like, I'm going to put it on the list for this year because it's that good. I think it's. I still haven't seen the Card Counter, but I like it more than Master Gardener. And it's not quite First Reformed for me, but it's really incredible. It's the most like straightforward like drama he's done in this sort of man in a room thing he's doing, but it still really fits in there. Really kind of regretful and beautiful sort of end of life thing. And then just the last 2, Ephus, incredible baseball movie. If you love baseball, you'll love it. If you don't love baseball, maybe I'll pitch it as the movie is basically Goodbye Dragon Inn, the Taiwanese slow cinema movie about a movie theater closing, but for Americans who love baseball. It's about a baseball park that is going to be torn down and turned into a school, and it's about the last baseball game that happens there between a bunch of friends, and it's just a great kind of banter comedy, and it's really sad, but also really kind of hopeful and sort of like. It really emphasizes like the importance of like community and like these kind of institutions. So loved it. And then just the last one, I was going to put this on the list. And then I realized that last year I also had a movie about an art thief starring Josh O'Connor on my number 10 slot. So I put The Mastermind here because I wanted to just put something else in this time. But Mastermind is my first Kelly Reichardt film. And I really got to see more because it's a really incredible sort of, it is a heist movie, but it's a movie where the process of the heist isn't so much emphasized. The heist happens very quickly into the movie. Most of it is the sort of de-escalation, the sort of like the consequences after the heist, trying to, get away from the consequences of their actions, and that ultimately being kind of a futile exercise. So, yeah, great performance by Josh O'Connor, and as he always is in everything he's in. So,
he's great.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple of comments to get into before we get to our list, but
absolutely.
Danny MR says Lucas Sigma.
Okay.
I think referring to another commenter, I'm a little confused, but all right. And then he also says Begonia, best movie of the year. Yeah, I was a little. So I quite liked it, and I was really liking it for most of it until the ending. I know Leon liked it a lot more than me, so we'll talk about it at some point, I'm sure. And I know like Elliot from IMO reviews, he had it as his #1 film of the year. So lots of love for Begonia for sure.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So now that we've got the honorable mentions out of the way, I will let you go first with the top 10. What's your number 10 film, Leon?
Okay, top 10 is the newest edition, because I watched it yesterday for the first time. I was thinking, I was like, okay, I want to get at least like one or two more like 2025 films out of the way before the year's over. And there was one that it played at the cinema a few months ago, and it's coming out sometime next year for you. So if you were to watch this, you could pop it on your 2026 list if you like.
Okay.
But it's your favorite kind of genre. It's a biopic. It's it's a biopic.
The music biopic?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's a biopic about a Scottish man called John Davidson, and he was the film's called I Swear, by the way. I should have mentioned that. And it's essentially about him living and developing at a young age Tourette's syndrome, and just kind of what that was like, just like experiencing just like from the age of I think 12 or 13 or something, he developed like his first symptoms and everything, and it's a very, very like I don't know, like a film of this subject matter could be very bleak, very like kitchen sink, like kind of traditional, like you think like Mike Leigh type of movies and everything. But this has such a fun sense of humor to it about the subject matter, while still being like really, really compelling emotionally. Like you really like it tugs at your heartstrings way more than I expected it to. The lead performance is great. It's the actor's name is Robert Aramayo. He was in Game of Thrones. He was in Empty Man. Okay, cool. Empty Man is great.
Oh, I remember him from the Empty Man. Yeah.
Yeah, and no, he's really, really great in the movie. There's a great like supporting cast as well, and it's just one of those films that like I looked at the poster, I looked at the premise, and I was like, this seems like something I should watch with my mum. I watched it with my mum, and she loved it, and I loved it too. So it's like, I think it's a really great little movie. It's very under the radar. Only like 30,000 people have seen it this year, but the Letterboxd average is at 4.2, and rightfully so, in my opinion. I thought it was a great, great, touching little like comedy drama biopic, and it doesn't really have those issues that most most fluffy bad biopics do, where it kind of just feels like you're watching a film as opposed to you're watching like a dramatization of some character's life where like it's hitting all of the beats. It really doesn't do that. It's just kind of following him through his life, and no, it's really, really great. I swear, amazing little movie. I found it like delightful and charming. That's my number 10. Highly recommended.
Hell yeah. I feel like I saw a couple other people that just watched this. Jason, maybe I'd have to double check, but yeah, I'm really interested in seeing this. You said it's going to come out next year in the States.
Yeah, Sony Pictures Classics have it, or Sony Pictures Classics have it. So it'll probably come out like, I'm guessing, like January, February. Although they also had Kneecap, and they fucked up sorry for swearing, but they fucked up the release of Kneecap in the States so bad.
Oh, really?
Like that should have been such a bigger film over there.
I thought that Netflix just bought Kneecap, and it just went straight to Netflix over here.
No, it was a Sony release, and they just dumped it on streaming or something.
Huh.
Which is really unfortunate because it's
just
a great movie.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I kind of like Better Man. Like, I wonder how it would have done in the State. Like, how many Americans know Kneecap? It's a much smaller budget movie, of course, so has to make less money to be successful.
That's true. To be fair, I didn't know who Kneecap were before watching it, and now I'm
no, exactly. I mean, I think a lot of people discovered Kneecap through the movie, for sure.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good shout. I've heard good things about that one. I Swear, right, is the name of it?
I Swear, yes. Really great. From the director of Nanny McPhee.
Oh, wow. Does it have... That movie like traumatized me as a child, just like the look of Nanny McPhee, the buck teeth and stuff. I was like, ugh. But anyway, that's a good pick.
What's your number 10?
Yeah, my number 10. So like yours, it's the most recent film I've watched. I wasn't sure. I watched it last night, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make the list. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, that is one of the more unique films I've seen in a bit. It's the movie It Was Just an Accident by Jafar Panahi, which is the Palme d'Or winner at Cannes this year. is if you don't know, he's an Iranian filmmaker who has for a long time been making movies that have really pissed off the government. He made a movie called, and I think because of that, he's kind of been coy about like the films that he's making. So he did one called Taxi that mostly takes place in a taxi, and it's just kind of conversations with other people. I think sometimes, if I remember correctly from what I've heard, they're talking about Iranian society and things that the government might not like people talking about. And then he also did this other movie called This Is Not a Film, which the title itself kind of being a joke on like the government says I can't make a movie, but don't worry, this isn't a movie. This is different. And so so he's definitely, and so this movie he actually had to flee the country after making it because it was filmed entirely without permission, mostly in secret, which is, considering the production value of the movie, like really impressive. Like you would never watch it and know it was filmed under those conditions. But so essentially what it's about is a guy who at one point in his life was tortured by the Iranian like secret police, I believe. And one day he finds I think he's working as a mechanic, and he hears a sound which is very familiar to him. It's the sound of a peg leg, like walking and like sort of squeaking through the hallway. And it's the exact sound because his torturer at this secret police place like had a peg leg, and he recognizes the sound very easily. And so he kidnaps the guy, takes him out to the desert with the intention to bury him alive. And the guy says, "I'm not this person. I don't know what you're talking about." Like, and so he has doubts about it. So most of the movie is him going from place to place, talking to different people who also have connections to this torturer, getting them to see if it's actually him. And that's kind of the mystery of the movie. But by the third act, it turns into something that's different. It has I don't really want to spoil where it goes, but because it kind of, I don't want to give away the dilemma, like, you know, whether or not he is that person. But it kind of introduces new like moral and political dilemmas about, you know, what people would do in that kind of situation. For a movie being filmed mostly in a car, under those secretive conditions, it's gorgeous. It's like some of the best looking like cinematography I've seen this year. And for being kind of a really, I don't know, like one location thriller, I think just the simplicity of those moral questions and how much they resonate with, you know, anybody who can sympathize with somebody who's been oppressed, like politically, like really, you know, I think it's surprisingly accessible for this director, because he's mostly done a bunch of like artier movies and like documentaries and stuff. So this is kind of his version of like a thriller, even though it's like very unconventional in that way. It also just kind of resonated for me personally, because so I have my uncle came to the United States in the 1980s, fleeing Iran, that regime, and then I have friends who have been waiting for the regime to fall for a long time. And so it was just, it felt nice to see a movie where, one interesting thing was that it seems like every person they bumped into just really hated the regime. It's just that like people kind of keep it on the down low there for personal safety reasons. So, so that was kind of cool to see, in addition to just how great of a thriller it is. So yeah, it was just an accident, number 10 for me.
Hell yeah. That's a great pick. I really want to see this. It won. What did it win? It
won the Palme d'Or at Cannes.
Palme d'Or. Yeah, that's it. It won the Palme d'Or. I was gonna say People's Choice. It did not win the People's Choice. What won the People's Choice this year?
Hamnet, I believe.
Of course it did.
And Life of Chuck won it last year, so technically we have two 2025 movies that have won the TIFF People's Choice Award.
I would say yes. This is, I think I was saying this to Brady recently. I was like, oh wait, wasn't it The Life of Chuck? And then no, I don't even know if you remembered it was Hamnet or not, but no, Hamnet, greatest movie of the year. I just haven't seen it. Okay, you're talking about an incredibly moving political piece of cinema. My number 9, Jimmy and Stiggs.
Yes. You would put it on so badly.
Oh, dude. You basically kind of gave away like the general gist of the movie earlier, which was good. So I don't need to do that. Just an awesome Joe Begos independent film, shot on 16mm, produced by everyone's favorite Zionist, Eli Roth. Sorry. I'm sorry. To be fair, his two little short mock trailers at the start were really fun. Like the faux trailers, the Piano Killer. I really liked the Piano Killer.
The Piano Killer is great. It's funny. It seems like Eli Roth is going to make the other one into a feature length movie.
He is.
Don't go in that house, bitch.
Yeah, don't go in that house, bitch. He should have made the Piano Killer.
I feel like the Piano Killer would be a funnier movie, but I don't know.
Maybe in 15 years he'll do the Thanksgiving thing and be like, okay, I'm going to turn this into a feature or something. hopefully. But no, Jimmy and Stiggs, yeah, the first starring role from Joe Begos. I've said before to you that he's very influenced by like the Driller Killer and like Abel Ferrara movies. He really takes that on board with like putting himself in the lead role this time around, very much so like the Driller Killer. But no, it's just a great kind of, hey, isn't my apartment really fucking awesome movie? He's just like,
and it's just like there's a lot of parts, especially at the beginning, where it's very obvious that this dude, it's just like it's like a spacious enough apartment, especially for California or whatever it is, but like it's just like it's mostly like a regular apartment. In fact, it has a lot of like stoner hot couch guy detail. Yeah. Like you know this house. You've spent the night on your friend's couch at one of these houses. You know, it's that kind of vibe. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's I thought it was so charming to see something that was so like, I don't want to say scrapped together, but it's just very lovingly crafted. Like it's very clear that this is a labor of love from Joe, and it comes through with the film. I think the two lead performances are really fun. They have a great dynamic, very like They Live coded, I'd say, like very like Roddy Piper, Keith David kind of like back and forth bickering. There's a great fight sequence between the two of them, which no, I think their dynamic's really great. The special effects are very clearly made on like a shoestring budget, but it just adds to the charm, I think. Like I don't want to say too much about what you see in the movie, but there's some pretty out there visuals that I was greatly amused by, but I could see some people saying, oh, that looks cheap and crap, but I thought it was really charming. And it just, another thing too, it does some of the most insane things I think I've ever seen done with like film cameras in my life. Like, particularly in the opening and final like 10 minutes of the movie, utilizing like, I don't know how else to describe it other than like POV 16 mil. Like, it's so unbelievable, and I had no idea how he was pulling it off.
We were talking about this a lot throughout, where it's like to put a film cam to do like, it seemed like what he had to have done is like put a film camera on his head in some way, because there's so many, it's like just the way it moves, it seems like almost like a GoPro or something, but it's not. It's like a 16 millimeter fully film camera.
It's insane. It's like one of the most baffling things. I know Vinegar Syndrome just put the film out on 4K, and there's like a 2-hour making of documentary included, so I need to pick it up on home media so I can just like, I just want to watch every second of the production of this film, because it seems like, again, like I said, it's such a labor of love that I imagine even just seeing them like goof around on the set would be a fun time. And the versions that you can like legally acquire online, I'll say, because it doesn't have a release over here, actually end with like a 10-minute like featurette where you get to see some of the behind the scenes stuff here and there. But no, I really would like to see that documentary because it sounds like a great time. But Jimmy and Stiggs, great time, support independent cinema, it rocks.
It does.
I say as I legally acquired a copy of Jimmy and Stiggs, but it doesn't have a release over here. I wanted to support that one.
Leon, you rented it from the library. That's what you did.
Yeah, I rented it from the library. Yeah. But yeah, what's your number 8?
All right, I think number 9 we're still on, but real quick, I'm just gonna do a couple comments.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, you are on number 9. My bad.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Let's see, from Lucas, he says, I need to watch more films from Yorgos, but I wasn't a huge fan of Begonia. Okay, which other ones have you seen, if you don't mind me asking? Because but he said he did like Poor Things. Okay, yeah. So I think
kind of scaring.
That's fair. Yeah, I trying to think which is my favorite. Like
Kinds of Kindness.
It might be Kinds of Kindness. I don't know. I go back. It is really good. Poor Things, I like that he's kind of living in both worlds a little bit. Like he's definitely has a foot in like more than a foot in like the weird world that he likes to live in, but he's not working with that writer that wrote Kinds of Kindness and like The Lobster and all that. So it's a nice balance, I think. But yeah, Kinds of Kindness is great though.
It's so good.
Yeah. Well, yes. So my number 9 then is The Secret Agent, which is a Brazilian movie that is from a director I've started to really like. I want to get more into his filmography, but Kleber Mendoza Filho, I think is how you pronounce it. And he did one of my favorite movies of 2020, Bacurau, which is this great sort of thriller where you're starts off kind of mysterious and you're kind of wondering, okay, what is this this like town in the middle of nowhere. They in Brazil, they notice that they've disappeared on Google Maps, and they're kind of like suspicious of that. And it turns out that they're being hunted by like foreign like colonialists, essentially, like Most Dangerous Game style. Okay. And once that happens, it sort of turns into this sort of like John Carpenter, like Assault on Precinct 13 kind of siege movie where they're trying to defeat the invaders and everything. And it has this great kind of really like propulsive kind of like thriller logic to it. I really loved it. And then this is a little bit more mainstream than that, I would say, because I think that movie is kind of rightly put in like the exploitation category. This is more like, this is going to be like an awards movie for sure, like would definitely be nominated for for Best International. And I think Wagner Moura might even have a chance at like Best Actor nominations. Like he's really great in the movie, and like I think at some awards he's already gotten a little bit of attention. But yeah, it's essentially about this guy who has I don't know if I want to say entirely of like what he does, but what he did like throughout his career, but he at the beginning of the movie, he is a like political refugee within his own country, essentially. So he goes to this safe house that has a bunch of people that are at odds in some way with the Brazilian military dictatorship. Some people that are there are like refugees from Angola and stuff like that. But so it kind of takes a while to figure out exactly what the movie's doing. It's a really fun movie to just kind of discover as it goes on. But he's essentially like waiting for a chance to get out of the country safely and to like find a better life. And while that's happening, he's being hunted by these two assassins. I guess I can sort of say that I won't say the exact details, but he was an academic, and somebody wanted to steal his ideas, and so they're trying to like cover up their crimes essentially by getting rid of him. So that's kind of the idea, and it has this. One thing I loved so much about it was the period detail is some of the best I've seen of any movie recently. Like, so it takes place in kind of the 1970s Brazil, and there's all of these. I remember the director did a movie called Pictures of Ghosts, where I think is a documentary about people that about this old cinema in his hometown, and he sort of. When he kind of revisited the movie, the place and made the documentary, he said that all of these like people that no longer exist, sort of like flooding back to him like ghosts essentially. And you sort of get that vibe here as well, especially just all the dark undertones of like the Brazilian like dictatorship and everything at the time. And I think this will maybe sound a little bit familiar to some people who saw the movie I'm Still Here last year, or I think earlier this year it came out in the UK. And I saw that movie as well. And while I really liked it, I did kind of, I'm a sucker for a genre movie. I just kind of wish it was more of a thriller. That one is kind of more of a, family drama. But this one I love. There's so many great set pieces that are very like De Palma, like where he's using a lot of like split focus kind of shots to emphasize the tension between like one character in the foreground and another character in the background trying to seek them out. And yeah, it reminded me the most of like the 70s, like paranoia political thrillers, things like Manchurian Candidate or, what's the Francis Ford Coppola one?
The Conversation.
The Conversation. Yeah, like things like that. It's definitely, that's kind of the skeleton like it's operating in as far as like the kind of movie it is, but it's about this but the actual specific like period detail, the historical detail of this time in Brazil is really amazing. And there's also this really great element of like like a time jump that's kind of interweaved throughout the film, and for a lot of it you're not sure how it's going to pay off at the end, and the way it does I think is really satisfying and kind of really melancholic in a way that I liked a lot. So yeah, this was great. This was for me, maybe it wasn't quite to the level of Bacurau, just because me, I love my exploitation movies, but this was I think anything this Brazilian director does is definitely going to continue to be top 10 worthy or somewhere around, because he's really good.
Hell yeah. I need to get around to seeing that. I don't know if it got a release over here. I'll have to.
Yeah, I forget if it's like a next year one over there technically. Or...
I'll have a little look, but I would definitely like to see this and his prior film. I think I own that on Blu-ray because Mubi distributed it over here, and I picked up a bunch of movie titles. So I will get.
I definitely watch that with you if you ever want to. I think it would be very much your thing.
yeah, I'm totally down.
Oh, and shout out to Udo Kier, who passed away this year. He's a much bigger part of Bacurau. He's like the main villain in Bacurau. But in this one, he has a smaller role, but still very impactful. Still, when he's on screen, he's memorable. So, wanted to give a shout out for him since he passed away just recently. So,
R.I.P. Udo Kier, the GOAT. My number 8, Cloud, Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Yeah. I loved Cloud, and I'm kind of sad I don't have it higher, but I think it's been such a great year for film, as I've been saying. Cloud is something where I think most people could enjoy this even if they hadn't seen many Kiyoshi Kurosawa films prior. I think having the knowledge of Kiyoshi's filmography makes this such a fun watch. I don't know if you'd agree, but
100%. That was the exact experience I had.
It's like when you're watching Cloud initially, you're like, okay, Kiyoshi Kurosawa is gonna do some really, really scary, horrifying shit. No, not really, but yes, at the same time, like it's got those moments where it's like it's almost like, oh no, that's kind of like, ugh. It's got the Kiyoshi Kurosawa factor. I mean, in a good way. But it's basically just like an after not, I don't know if I would say like an after hours style riff, but it's just like a guy fucking up and continuously fucking up in such an extraordinary fashion that it's hard not to find the whole situation funny. And he's just like such a scummy piece of shit too. Like you're following this character who like buys items and bulk buys like collector's edition video games like Switch games and stuff just so he can like resell them on like an black market like eBay knockoff and everything, and he can like double it, like his price and stuff. Yeah. And he's a
total grind set like scammer.
He's such a little bastard that you're like, I don't even feel bad for anything that's happening to this guy. But there's a shift like halfway through the film, which I don't want to spoil. It's just like one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And as much as I love the setup of the first hour or so of this film, it's the second hour that's just it's no Cure. Yeah. But I don't know, like out of like watching Cure and like shitting my pants and not being able to sleep versus having a good time with Cloud, I think Cloud is probably going to be my go-to. Like if I just want to watch a Kiyoshi Kurosawa movie, maybe I'd pop that on. It's not his best, but it's so much fun, and it's like easily one of the better films of the year that more people need to be talking about. Like there is that kind of like not homework necessarily, but like you do have to have an understanding of who Kiyoshi is for it to kind of hit as much as it does, because it is very kind of like reflective of his career and his filmography, and he's kind of like toying with the audience in a way that I haven't really seen him do that before. Like even with his like short film, medium film he did last year, Chime, that almost felt like he was just playing the hits, and in a great fashion. Don't get me wrong, I loved Chime, but like he's very much like playing the hits there. This feels like, oh, okay, I'm gonna pretend like I'm gonna play the hits just to like pull the rug under from you, and I much preferred Cloud for that reason, but I think they're both great. No, he's just, I'm so happy he's still making like great stuff like this late into his career.
He is having to fund them on like NFT money and stuff, so maybe he's himself living the scammer.
He kind of is,
a little bit. But no, I completely agree. Like it was so like what you said about like Chime, like where he had just done kind of a greatest hits like in short form thing with that, and then he starts doing that here. You're like, okay, I know exactly the kind of movie this is going to be, and then it's not that like at all for most of it. It is this very jet black comedy of mistakes by this character, and it's just got some of the best like twists and turns, I think. There's a lot of great like it all goes wrong kind of movies this year, I think.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about a couple more of them, I'm sure, at some point. But this is one of the best ones for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Oh no,
I really wish I could have put it on the list, but I was like, I'm feeling a little bit more passionate about mentioning a couple of other things. But
no, that's totally fair.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Oh, it's great. We're finally getting some that we've both seen. But again, I'm really happy that it's so varied, because there's some on my list, there's definitely like a big one on my list that I know you haven't seen, so I'm excited to talk about that. But I feel like there's gonna be like quite a bit of variety in our lists.
I think so. Yeah.
What's your number 8?
My number 8 is one I think you had in the honorable mentions, which is The Naked Gun.
Yes.
I'm so happy to be just putting just a straight up extremely goofy comedy on this list, especially one that's, a remake I was kind of worried about for a while. But I don't know, as soon as they started doing promotional stuff for it, the trailer looked pretty good to me, and the particularly some of the posters and stuff. Like I love the one where he has like 19 fingers, and it says no AI was used in the making of this poster. So
I think that's my poster on Letterboxd for the film.
Mine too. Yep, for sure. So yeah, this is just straight up a remake of the classic Leslie Nielsen comedy Naked Gun, operating unfortunately without O.J. Simpson, but let's say he's got his moment in the sun very early on in this movie. And literally moment in the sun. But yeah, and then they kind of have Liam Neeson, I was kind of curious, like, is he going to be able to pull off, like, Leslie Nielsen's just such a unique comedic actor in his ability to deliver like super silly lines with just like the straightest face ever. And play a total dunce who has no idea he's a dunce, right? But no, he does it brilliantly. Like, it's honestly, I don't know if I like it quite as much as the original, but it's pretty close, and I think it's better than any of the sequels. Like, it's better than like the part 2, and and those ones are still fun, right? But there's just so many great gags throughout the whole thing. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen them, but like there's this one that involves a snowman that's amazing. The hot dog one is incredible. There's one of my favorite jokes in the movie was this one involving the Los Angeles Lakers arena, where it's called Crypto.com Arena in real life, but what they change it to in the movie is so funny. I don't know, I was so happy to enjoy a stupid comedy like this and I think it's only like 80 minutes or something. It's incredibly short.
Under 90. It's perfect. It's perfectly paced.
Yeah. And just the last thing I'll say about it is shout out to Pamela Anderson, who I think, even though Liam Neeson's great, like, she kind of steals the movie.
Yes.
It's kind of like she's kind of the main comedic force driving it for a lot of it. And super cute. They had the Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson actually got together in real life and are just a super cute couple. So yeah,
I loved The Naked Gun. I'm really sad I wasn't able to put it on my list, but again, like it is kind of up for debate whether or not it kind of like gets the 10 spot. I'll get into that more later. But it's so good. It's so funny, and thank you for shouting out Pamela Anderson. I feel like everyone's been gushing over Liam in this film, rightfully so, because he's so funny in it. But no, Pamela Anderson is just. I think she's having her moment again because I really liked her in The Last Showgirl, the Sofia Coppola movie that came out earlier this year.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I should have put that in honorable mentions. I wasn't in love with that film, but I thought she was great in it, and Dave Bautista was excellent too. But no, she's so funny in The Naked Gun, and I hope this leads to more like comedic roles in the future for her because she's got some great comedic timing, and I also really like what's that one guy who looks like Elon Musk? Kevin Durand, I think.
Oh, Kevin Durand, yeah, from like Lost.
He's really fun in the movie.
Yeah, he's a good functional villain, but the thing is, like, being a villain in a Naked Gun movie doesn't matter. The thing that matters is can you like add in some good comedic moments, and he does, which is good.
Yeah, he's very very fun.
Yeah, but everybody understood the assignment really well. I think there's no one who's not up to par.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. Oh, and I got to shout out Paul Walter Hauser as his like sidekick buddy guy and everything. He's really fun. I just like Paul Walter Hauser. I think he's fun. But no, great pick.
Absolutely. Real quick before we do your number 7, we got one more comment to get through. Jason has entered the chat. Hey, how's it going, Jason? Good to see you. Yeah, it's going super well. Yeah, thanks for joining us after work. Hope that was good. And yeah, feel free to chat with us about some of your favorite movies.
Yeah, I'd love to hear some of your opinions. If to recap, should we recap for Jason?
Sure. Yeah. So go ahead.
So I'll do 10 to 8. So my number 10 was I Swear, Scottish movie. Number 9 was Jimmy and Stiggs, exploitation, sci-fi horror, indie movie. And 8 was Cloud by Kiyoshi Kurosawa.
And then my number 10 was It Was Just an Accident, the Iranian like thriller movie from Jafar Panahi. Number 7 was, number 9 was The Secret Agent, with Brazilian movie with Wagner Moura. And then my number 8 was The Naked Gun, with foreign actor Leslie Nielsen. But
no.
Anyway, what's your number 7, man?
My number 7 is your favorite film of the year, Begonia.
Hey, this is gonna work out once we get to my number 7. But anyway, go for it.
Oh, okay. Begonia. I had a blast. I went to see this with so when I saw Frankenstein with 2 friends. I saw Frankenstein with a friend, and then me and 2 other friends were gonna go see Begonia after, and my first friend, the friend I went to see Frankenstein with, she loved Frankenstein. Had never seen a Del Toro film before, so like that's kind of insane. Like first Del Toro film being Frankenstein, and then I was like, okay, cool, okay, she liked this, and it was my friends Hannah and Liam. Neither of them had seen a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, and I was like, maybe this is a bad idea, but I kind of just want to do it anyway. I just think it'd be funny for someone's first Yorgos movie to be Begonia. They both liked it, but I think the first half of the movie was very, very, very draining for one of my friends. But then I think she kind of warmed up to it eventually. I loved it. I don't think it's quite as good as Kinds of Kindness, which is my favorite Yorgos movie. And there's a case to be made that in ways like I still need to see the original film that it's based on because it's his first remake. I think it's a remake of a Korean movie called Save the Green Planet, which I've heard is great. Yes. I've heard is a great movie. I need to get around to checking it out soon. Arrow Video are giving it its first wide like home media release, which is really cool.
Oh wow!
So
I figured either them or like Vinegar Syndrome would pick that up eventually. But that's good that with Begonia they're going to do that. Yep.
I'm really, really excited to check it out because I've heard the original is great. And no, it's just another Yorgos Lanthimos movie, and for some people, I think that's a bit disappointing because it's like, oh yeah, well, Yorgos is doing his weird, kooky thing with Emma Stone again, and I'm like, in most ways, I understand the criticism that it's kind of standard Yorgos for the most part, but the thing that works so well for me, just those performances, really. I think all of the performances are so, like, astronomically excellent. There's probably a pun in there or something. But I had such a great time. I love Jesse Plemons. I think he's giving, like, one of the best performances of the year, hands down.
For
I
sure.
love him in every single second. He fully, like, if you know individuals in that kind of mindset, like the crazy conspiracy mindset of like, oh yeah, it's all, oh yeah, it's all a ruse, like Alex Jones pilled like lunatics, basically. It is horrifyingly accurate to like what
Yeah.
those people are like.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it's
very like he's the kind of like he he believes aliens are behind everything, and that
yeah.
like he's kind of like a chemtrails truther. Name a conspiracy theory, he believes in it in some way, you know.
Yeah, and it's like it's one of those things where I was watching one of those videos where like Plemons went through like his career and kind of briefly spoke about some of the key roles that he's had over the years. And he said the first time he read the Bugonia script, he was like losing his mind laughing. He was like, "This is the funniest script I've ever read." And then the second time he read it, like a few weeks later, he was like, "This is like really bleak and like probably one of the more miserable screenplays I've ever read in my life." And like you fully get that because you can really laugh at this character, but there's also just something really, really upsetting about how far gone he is because of like I don't want to get too far into like the spoiler parts of the movie, but like
Yeah.
there's
one
there's
detail that we
just
absolutely should not spoil, but
no,
yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
There's justification behind why he's feeling this way, I guess I'll say, even if it doesn't excuse it, but there's justification as to why he's feeling this way. And it's one of those things where I'm like, no, I get it, but it's just still like Jesus Christ. Like some of the stuff he's doing and talking and spouting about is just like absolute like insanity. But like, I also want to shout out Emma Stone. She's great in the movie as well, and this film requires a lot from her, which is kind of saying something when you think of the last few films she's made with Yorgos, also requiring a lot from her.
Yep.
But this one in particular, like. I'm just happy she's on board to just go for this like real deranged sicko shit that Yorgos seems to love and revel in, and she seems to be having just as much fun with like him just partaking in this. And also I want to get this kid's name up, but Jesse's like cousin character, Aidan Deblis. It's like one of his first performances, and he's so fun in the movie. He has great comedic timing, and he's like
really good. And
he's awesome.
And also like kind of the emotional key to the film in a lot of ways, because I think that the movie is like satirically like critical of like conspiracy theorists and stuff like that, but it's also like I think it also very much like invests emotionally into what it's like to be one of those and what it's like to be like a family member of one of those, and how that affects your life. So because he's clearly like, you get the vibe through the whole like kidnapping plot of the movie that he's very like, he's not as invested as his brother is. He's doing it because he loves his brother, pretty much.
Yeah, he's very passive about it, but like some of the things that Jesse's character like coerces him into doing, especially early on, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like it's like really bleak stuff, which is like, again, it's really funny when it wants to be, but then it's also just like one of the more just dour experiences I've had in a cinema this year. I think it like manages that like the blend of genres very well, and without getting into what it contains, I love the last 10 or so minutes of the movie. We still haven't spoken about your issues with that, not on the stream, of course.
And I won't get into spoilers with it. I will say it felt, the big thing for me was I think the ending kind of undercuts what a lot of the movie's doing. With like the thing I really loved about it was like what we were talking about, this sort of satire with sympathy of conspiracy theorists and people affected by them, right? To me, the ending takes it in a different direction that kind of de-emphasizes that. I'll say, I don't want to spoil too much about it.
That's a very fair. I feel like there's still quite a bit of like fun satire in those final 10 minutes. We'll have to discuss this at some point.
Sure.
But I do think that the last, like, I want to say like 3 to 4 minutes of the movie, there's a montage. I'll say that. I think I can say there's a montage that the film ends on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of my favorite things I think I've ever seen from Yorgos. Like, I think it is remarkably funny, dour. It kind of fits all of the genres of Begonia into this like 3 or 4 minute segment, and it's one of my favorite Yorgos moments. But no, my number 7, Begonia. Oh, also Stavros is so fucking funny.
I was about to mention. I was like, before we move on, we have to mention Stavros.
Oh my god. One of the most uncomfortable performances I've ever seen. Not even of the year, just like deeply uncomfortable performance. It's only he could pull it off. No one else could do that. No one else. It's one of a kind role. I feel like I don't want to spoil anything in relation to his characters. I'd rather talk about the last 10 minutes with some of the antics involved.
Yeah. I liked the, like, basically, like, I really liked the ending to his character and like that whole bit leading up to the last scene of the movie.
Yes. Oh, it's so funny. He's great. He's great in it. But what's your number 7?
So with your number 7 being a movie that I struggled with a little bit, I've got one that you struggled with quite a bit. Train Dreams. This is. I remember last year we had like one movie. I had like one movie that you didn't like, and vice versa. I think so. We got to have.
You might have had like Dune Part 2 or something, and I was like,
I think it was Hitman. Was the one I put on there.
Yeah, I wasn't huge on Hitman either.
Yeah.
Did Dune make your top 10 last year?
Dune did not. It was like just missing the cut. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I mean, that's a shame.
But yeah, no. So Train Dreams is adaptation of a novel by what is his name? It's like is it like Dave? It's not David Johnson. It's something. No, David Johnson's the actor, but yeah, it's a recent novel, and basically it's about it's kind of a biography story of someone who, to the best of my knowledge, never existed. He is a working class like logger from somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. It's kind of vague as to where everything is, but in the United States at like the early 20th century, and he's kind of so he's working as a logger right at the kind of crux of when, like, he's just a little bit before logging is starting to get more like machine oriented and automated and stuff like that. So he's living this kind of the movie starts out with he's kind of living this idyllic life of like having this career outside, and he has a family as well, like played by Felicity Jones, and he has a daughter and everything, and things seem very peaceful. The movie in general has this really interesting cinematography where a lot of it is like fairly wide angle lenses, kind of, but like sort of to emphasize, he's not really doing a lot of like close-ups on people's faces or anything like that. It's just kind of like wide angles to emphasize the landscapes, and just a lot of really beautiful shots of nature in it. So midway through the film, one event happens that I definitely won't spoil, that completely like reshapes his life and gets him to he has to completely kind of start his life up from scratch again, and the movie kind of ends up being about like how that changes you as a person. And I think what I really liked about it the most was just there are so many like historical movies that are always about these like great historical figures and everything, like the kings and the royals, the oligarchs. And this is just about like just a working class guy, just like, one of like billions of people that history will never know the names of, but had these experiences of love and loss and joy and tragedy and all this. And so yeah, and it's just, I think it also has a bunch of really great supporting performances from Carrie Condon's in it. She has this sort of like friend relationship with Joel. I forgot to say Joel Edgerton is the star of the film, and he's really, really great in it. But yeah, he has this relationship at some point in the film with Carrie Condon's character, who plays like a fire lookout, and they have this really interesting friendship. And William H. Macy plays a really old man in the film. Great to see him, and yeah, I don't know. I understand why this film doesn't work for some people. I think some people I've heard have been calling it a bit like quaint. I like people wishing that it had more to say about like its time period, or like more of a point to make, I suppose. But that's actually, I think, precisely why I liked it, is that it didn't do that. I think it was just kind of, again, I just like seeing, the lives of everyday people sometimes. And especially when it's done in this kind of ethereal, like Terrence Malick sort of style to it. I thought it was really well done. So yeah, hoping it gets some little bit of attention at award season. I know it's kind of snuck under the radar a little bit now that we're sort of coming down to the wire and that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, this was a real surprise for me. I really ended up enjoying this.
We have Terrence Malick at home. No, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Joel Edgerton's good. It's pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna be nice. This is the nice stream. This is the nice stream.
We'll do the naughty stream later.
Okay. So number 6. I wasn't sure if this was gonna make my top 10, but I've got to shout out The Monkey by Osgood Perkins. No, I can't even. I'm not even gonna go with that. I can't. No, Eddington.
Okay, I was like,
Eddington is delightful. I can't even for a second even pretend to like The Monkey. No. We'll get into that next stream. Eddington, initially way higher on my list, but the last couple of months, quite a few films have really snuck up there. I think.
Same.
I think we're gonna have at the very least 2 of the same. Like, I think from this point onwards, there's 2 that I think are unmistakably
2 for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But no, 6, Eddington. Ari Aster is just on his insane kind of fuck you, I made Midsummer streak right now, where he's like, I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want, and I'm loving it. I really think there's a case to be made that Eddington is his best film. Like, it has some of the best performances I've ever seen in like Ari Aster movies. It's so funny. It's so topical. It's actually kind of exhausting in a good way. Like, it's so pinpoint accurate to the horrors of 5 years ago. And
today though, like I feel like it just like encapsulates the just the social media era that we're in now, where
100%.
Everything gets politicized, everything is performative. Like,
it's like, I don't think I've ever seen a film kind of capture that aspect of the internet so not just so well and so effortlessly, but also so cinematically, because most of the time you can have a film that's like thing bad, but Ari gets it so well that it's kind of funny that I have this paired with Bugonia as like my
they're a good double feature, I think. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna say the number placements because of that stupid fucking meme that's going on, but the ones that, but yeah, so
you could say your 7 and 6.
Yeah, my 7 and my 6. Yeah, those two. But no, they're both really, really great. Kind of fuck you projects from individuals who really, really, really wanted to make fun of conspiracy theorists. And I'm always down for that. I think we need more of that in cinema, honestly. I think we need more high-profile, big-budget films with like $40-50 million budgets with that kind of goal in mind. But no, Joaquin's like amazing. I love Joaquin for the most part. There are times where I really don't like him, but it's is few and far between. Yes, yeah. Sometimes he has shit films like Joker, but then sometimes he has great films like Joker Folia do. It's like it's just. I no, yeah.
You haven't
I
said
really
anything I
like
disagree
him.
with
He's
yet, so
great. He's great. But no, he's great in it. I basically love the entire supporting cast in the film. I think everybody's like on another level. It's got some of the hardest laughs of the year for me. Like I
oh,
think
easily.
it's so funny. I think the only thing is it's one of the few times where I'll say this. I think initially, I think I've seen it twice. I want to double check if I've seen it once or twice. I feel like I've seen it twice. Yeah, no, I did see it twice. So I saw it in the cinema. I think you could probably trim like 5 minutes off of the movie if I had any genuine, like, actual complaints about the film. I think it's one of a few times on this list where I'll complain about pacing because most of the time, as long as I'm
Yeah.
engaged in the film, I'm totally on board. I think that's the only thing that really keeps Beau is Afraid above it for me. But I
Because
just
Beau is
think
Afraid
it
is
has.
much better paced. What are you talking
I
about?
genuinely think so. I
What?
do. I do. I love
Okay.
Beau is Afraid, but I
I
think
like it, but it's
oh.
not well paced. Like, we have to
I've
at least
seen
say
it
that
like
about it.
eight. I've seen it like 7 or 8 times. It flies
Okay.
by for me. Um, I love Beau is Afraid so much. Can I just put Beau is Afraid on this year's list? No, but no, Eddington is just delightful and has the last like 30 minutes of that movie is probably, even though there's another great action movie, or a few action movies kind of coming up. I think it's got some of the greatest like action, suspenseful, like thrillery aspects
Yeah.
I've seen in a movie this year. Just like there's some crazy stuff going on in the last like
Yeah.
30
That
minutes of
one
this
there,
movie.
that like one take like down the hill, I guess I'll say, and kind of
Yes.
through the town eventually. You kind of forget that it's one shot at a certain point, but it's so impressive. Yeah.
And it also it contains, without a shadow of a doubt, the best hog performance of the year, the funniest shot of like penis I've seen all year in film. So I've got to give it
Yep.
credit for that too.
And
One of
also just the last shot too is really
the
incredible.
last
That's what
shot.
stuck with me the most.
The last
It's like,
shot might be the best thing Ari Aster ever filmed.
yeah, it's like this. It's so simple, right? But because it's
Yeah.
just a vista, but what it's saying about everything you've watched so far, I think, is yeah, it's visual poetry for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of the great shots from Ari Aster. Probably the great shot.
Yeah.
I think like 10, 15 years from now, if this film sticks in the zeitgeist, which I really hope it does, I think that's one of the shots he'll be remembered for, and rightly so. It's really funny but really bleak at the same time. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But Eddington, number 6, loved
That's a great
it.
pick.
What's your number 6?
Real quick before I do it, I'm gonna just get to some comments. We have
Absolutely.
Jason saying, "I feel like Paul Walter Hauser was in like 10 movies this year."
Oh, he was
So,
in so much. He was in Fantastic Four. He was in the Springsteen movie. He
oh
was
yeah,
in the Naked Gun. He was. What else has he been
was he in
in?
Superman or no?
Maybe he was in
I don't think
Superman.
so. Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
Oh, he was in tons this year. I'm
Yeah,
actually gonna have a look. I liked him in Springsteen for what it's worth. Not that I think that film is great, but he's pretty good in it. He was in a movie called Playdate. He was in The Investigators with is that Casey Affleck and Matt Damon? He was in Inside Out 2 last year as well. He's been in loads, and he's gonna be in the new Zach Cregger movie, the
oh
Resident
yeah,
Evil film. He's
right,
gonna be in
yeah,
that, so that should be fun.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
No, Paul
intriguing.
Walter
Yeah,
Hauser, he's awesome.
yeah. I've heard of one of those movies. I think that was when we were doing the recap. Was it the Naked Gun or is there another one that I can't remember? Yeah. And then he says, "I'm hearing Train Dreams is getting some award nominations, but I have no idea what it's about." Yeah, it's a pretty simple, like, sort of biography kind of movie, just about one person's life. But Yeah, like I said, very, very like down to earth, I would say. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and then
Before
you
we get,
said,
oh,
huh?
sorry, tell me this first.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You said I gave up on watching Eddington after about 15 minutes and was so bored and uninterested in it.
Oh,
I get it.
no.
It can be really grating for, especially if you just want to forget that time ever existed. But
Yes.
I I love it. It's
Oh,
so funny.
I thought
But
it was great. I'm gonna go pour myself a drink real quick. I will be
yeah,
like 2 minutes,
yeah, no
and
problem at
then we
all.
will continue. Enjoy the pink chair that I stole from my
Yeah.
sister.
Do you want me to go ahead and do my number six or like start on it or
I will be
oh no, I'll
literally
just
right
oh
to
sorry, yeah, yeah,
this.
continue. I'll just chat with
Yes.
you for a
I
little
will be
bit.
right back. Say hi to everybody. I will
I
be
will,
right
yeah.
back, guys.
Yeah, all right, see you in a minute. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think because the first it doesn't like the first like 15 minutes of Eddington, it goes into the COVID stuff like right away. Like you start like immediately like going down the conspiracy rabbit holes and all this online world that people are in. And it kind of never lets up, to be honest. There are some moments to breathe. Like the Emma Stone character, I think is really interesting in the movie. She's kind of this like I don't know, like ghostly figure. I think a little bit. You kind of sometimes wish she was in it more. But yeah, no.
What's this? What's this?
Oh, just talking about Eddington. I was talking about the Emma Stone
Yes.
character.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, she's very good, but like kind of sparing performance. Like I think Ari
Mhm.
Aster used the word like ghostly to describe her a little bit in the
That's
film.
very
I think that's pretty accurate. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So we're on my number six, right?
Yes. We're on
Perfect.
6 now, yes.
Perfect. So my number six is Weapons. It's
Nice.
I guess my second favorite horror movie of the year, and yeah, just so I you know like you, I loved Zach Cregger's Barbarian was just a huge surprise for me when that came out. Kind of was just one of those films that didn't even really play that much on the festival circuit, just sort of like came out and then took everybody by storm. This kind of original movie where the marketing for it was great, and then you just went down this insane like rabbit hole for the rest of the movie. And Weapons similarly had, I think it had kind of pretty intriguing marketing where it kind of showed you the basic like dilemma of the movie where this this school like one morning like this teacher gets to her class and only one of her students shows up, and the other like 20 or so basically there's like security camera footage of them walking off into the middle of the night, or I should say running Naruto running out into the middle of the night, and then they never come back, at least according to the narrator. And so that's a great setup, and so you know it immediately starts the film with the like sort of witch hunt sort of thing where like you're kind of you have a lot of sympathy for the teacher because all the townspeople think that she did it, and you know you don't know that she didn't, but she's acting more or less innocent. She's not like perfect. She's clearly like an alcoholic. There's a lot of details about that kind of throughout the first half of the movie, and so the film kind of has this like really interesting like almost like Rashomon kind of structure where you start from her point of view, and then you get other characters' point of views throughout. But it's not exactly Rashomon because Rashomon is like showing the exact same event through like 3 different points of view with like some ambiguity in there. Whereas this is kind of it's showing you different points of view of the same events, but then basically whichever so you'll watch the first one, and then the second one is from a different point of view, but it also goes a little further in the story. And then the third one you can see some of the same events, and then it goes a little further in the story. So it's kind of this story gets to keep sort of spiraling into this like web of eventually like madness. You're like, okay, what is going on here? And it's very satisfying the way it plays out, I think. There are in terms of talking about sort of the substance of the film, there's some things I think you could argue are like unexplored, like the title of the film Weapons, and there's a shot of this like a AK-47 basically like hovering above a house at one point that sort of looks like basically like when you're about to pick up a gun in a video game, it's sort of like spinning around kind of thing. And so you're at a certain point you're like, okay, is that sort of a commentary on like school shootings or things like that? And it's a little bit unexplored, I would argue, but I think what works about the film so much is that it's just a great horror movie. Like there is subtext to it, but the film is so much more interested in the text, and that I just found really refreshing, and there's just a lot of really great performances in it too. What is the actress's name who plays
Amy Madigan?
Yeah, Amy Madigan. I don't even really want to spoil what she's doing if you haven't seen the film, because it's so central to like what the central twist of the movie is. But she is just incredible. Apparently, she might be in talks for like a Best Supporting Actress nomination, which is like unheard of for a horror movie, especially like a horror movie like this. So yeah, I mean, because it's not like one of those like A24 like metaphorical, actually about grief movie. Like again, that's one of the things that I liked about it the most, was just how literal it was, and so
it kind of is though. It kind of is.
Is it?
Like it kind of is one of those like it's about grief in a very interesting way, because the film's about, like, from what I've gathered in interviews at the very least, it's kind of about the one of the members of the Whitest Kids You Know like group, Trevor Moore, who passed away a couple of years ago, and he passed away at around like 2:30 in the morning. And if you've seen Weapons, you know all the kids go missing at like 2:27 or 2:17 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think he's spoken at length about how his like that loss kind of affected him. So like it's prevalent in the text, but it's not.
But it's not like dominating
in your face. It's not like, as much as I love it, it's not like Saint Maud or something.
Yeah, no, it's I think that's fair to say, because there are a lot of personal touches in there, but again, they're kind of they're ambiguous. They're not like central to the text per se. So yeah, no, just and just a bunch of really great side performances. Josh Brolin, I'm forgetting her name from Wolfman, Julia Garner, I think.
Julia Garner.
Yeah, she's great.
I gotta shout out Austin Abrams as like
the
crackhead.
He's the crackhead. Absolutely.
Awesome. He's like probably my favorite performance outside of Madigan in the movie. He's so good.
The cop too as well, like the guy who I forget his name.
Alden, he's in Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah. He's in like Oppenheimer and stuff, and he like he has this really great arc in the movie where he makes one really bad decision, kind of like very reactive, and a lot of what you see for the rest of the movie is him trying to cover that up, and it's really, there's a lot of great humor in the movie, I think. And as Jason was kind of alluding to here, like the last shot is, or like the last scene is very, very brutal. It's crazy like how it turns into like the horror mystery thing that is for most of it, and then like the finale is just one of the most creative things I've seen in a movie this year. It's so much fun.
Live action Looney Tunes.
It's very it's like a horror like live action Looney Tunes. I mean, like you literally get, because people were talking about like the Naruto running, like there's that plays into a big set piece at the very end of the movie where like I'm not spoiling it, but yeah, it's
all
I'll
say is people loved like and were laughing consistently throughout like the Naked Gun. I haven't heard anybody laugh as hard as how much people were laughing during like the opening night screening for that last like 5 minutes during that sequence. Like my audience was fucking losing it. Like and I saw it in IMAX as well, so like you've got to be loud to like hear people. Like the crowd's got to be loud if you're hearing people in an IMAX screening, but they were just losing it. It's one of my favorite like endings to a movie this year. It's so good.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. I've seen it a couple of times now, and I thought I was worried maybe it wouldn't play quite as well on the second viewing, given like some of the thematic like shallowness we've discussed a little bit, but it worked incredibly well. Like it just especially I really admire it from. It's one of the most like structurally impressive movies I've seen in a long time. So
that's very fair. It's one where I was at like 3 stars for a while.
Yeah,
I rewatched it. And then I was like, yeah, it's still a 3-star. And then I rewatched it. I showed it to my parents of fucking people. And they had a good time, although I think they thought it was a bit much in the end as well. So, Jason, you're not alone there. But no, it played well. And I was like, you know what? I'll bump it up. It gets the 4 stars. It's like a light 4 for me, but I do really, really enjoy Weapons.
Yeah,
for sure. But that's a great pick.
Yeah, no. And what's your number 5 now?
Oh, my number 5. Okay, so I'm just going to say, everything from this point onwards, there's an argument to be made. Any of these could probably be like in the top two, top three, or something. I just love all of these in particular, but there has to be a number five. So I'm gonna go with author Francis Lawrence's The Long Walk. I
Good pick.
loved The Long Walk. I had very, very, very little expectations for a film from the guy who made Constantine and like four Hunger Games movies. I wasn't really like, oh yeah, he's gonna make a film I really connect to emotionally, and it's actually
Have
gonna
you
be a
seen
really
Red Sparrow before?
yeah, I thought Red Sparrow was all right.
I think it's a little underrated. Like I think there was some awful discourse at the time about like the all the sexual violence in it and stuff.
Yes.
But no, I think it's an interesting like kind of blockbuster exploitation movie that I don't think quite lives up to what it's trying to do there, but it's interesting anyway.
Yeah, I think he's definitely on my radar now. Like I'll probably catch up with that like Hunger Games movie he did a few years ago, so I can see the new one because I'm kind of on board if this is what he's doing nowadays. Because like I haven't really seen anything from him since Red Sparrow. I don't know how many films he's made since then. But no, The Long Walk, adaptation of one of the Richard Bachman like Stephen King shorts he wrote very early on. I think it's actually the first like novel King ever wrote. Like he published it a few years after Carrie, but it was his essentially like his debut. And yeah, it's cool to see this finally get the big screen adaptation. George Romero was going to adapt it at one point, but that kind of fell through. And it was one of those projects that just it felt like it was never going to see the light of day. Francis Lawrence hops on board as director, and then it's written by J.T. Molnar, who is the writer-director of last year's Strange Darling, another one of your favorite movies. And I love Strange Darling, and I was primarily sold just on the fact that he was writing this. And I think he's one of the few people who's able to make Stephen King dialogue really work like warts and all, because there's so much like vulgarity that you expect from like this era of King, and it
Stand By
brings it
Me
to
kind
the
of
big
era a
screen.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it brings it to the big screen in a way that I was really, really like just surprised by, because it feels like you're watching these like teenagers, young adult like characters and everything, and they feel like teenagers and young adults from the era. Like I don't even know if there's a date that's specified in the film. It's just like it's a dystopian kind of landscape. Like I don't think there's any. I know he wrote it in the 70s, but it could kind of take place whenever. It's got that kind of timeless feel about it, which I really, really loved. But the heart of the movie is the two lead performances. Everyone says that, but like it's so true. Like Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson are just, they are giving like maybe like my favorite performances of the year. Like even though I have films higher, and I think there are films that are better than The Long Walk, I think those two performances are going to stick with me for a very, very long time. It's just one of the most like instantly like, I love these characters. I don't want anything to happen to any of them, really. Like I think that it's such a natural like pairing, and they just like they bump off each other so well. It's like you feel like after like spending 10 minutes with them that these two are like they've been friends for like 20 years in real life, you know? Like it comes so natural. And I think like the character writing and like all of the dialogue stuff in this film is just some of the most engaging stuff I've seen. I've watched this film for the record like 4 times. I went back to show it to other people and stuff. I was like, no, people, you need to go see this. So I've shown it to a handful of people. It's always played well, which I'm really happy about. It's like, even though it's a very like explicit and kind of violent movie, I didn't even really get into the premise, but the premise is essentially a kid from each state in the a kid from each state, or like a young adult from each state, enlists into this thing called the Long Walk, and they essentially just walk and walk and walk, and whoever remains the victor towards the end gets like any wish they want. They get like
it's like a huge cash prize
money.
and then one wish.
Yeah. yeah, anything within reason. You can't like change the premise of the Long Walk itself, but like you want. I think there's like an offhanded joke at one point that a kid won it, and he just asked for an elephant, so they got him a baby elephant or something like that. So
Yeah.
like you can wish for whatever you want. And it's just kind of there's a lot of context for almost everybody who's like on this long walk, because I think there's like 40-50 contestants, something along those lines,
Yeah.
and almost everybody gets some characterization, some more so than others, but like it's one of those films where even though you in your mind like initially you're like, okay, these two, we're following these two as our like protagonists, like you kind of want everybody to like win in ways. There's a few characters who are like kind of like you're not huge on them, but like everybody's kind of doing it for a reason where you're like, no, if they won, that would be fair. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't like I don't know. I think the character writing is just so solid, and
It is.
also making a film that consists of like 110 minutes of people walking and making it engaging is just kind of a feat in and of itself, no pun intended. So no, I thought Francis
Defeat.
Lawrence's direction feat. Sorry.
No, that was good.
No, I thought his direction was really great. I love like some of the like vistas, and it looks like it's such a beautiful looking movie. I thought. I know some people say it's a bit murky and gray. I didn't really
No, I didn't
find
mind
it
it.
to be. Yeah, I really liked like the visual look of the film, and again, it's those performances really. It's just the performances in that screenplay. In many ways it could be higher on the list, but I just think there are a few films that are like just a little better overall, but
Yeah.
I loved it. Also, it's another example of like earlier when I was talking about The Life of Chuck, being surprised that Francis Lawrence and Mike Flanagan could make a good movie, being surprised that we could get a great Stephen King adaptation in the year 2025, and to be surprised by Mark Hamill again in a Stephen King adaptation was really weird. Like that happened
Yeah.
twice. It's I was gonna say we're living in a golden age for Stephen King adaptations, but then we got Edgar Wright's The Running Man, which fucked everything up. So two out
Yeah.
of three, A two.
2 out of 3. We'll
Yeah.
take it, right? Yeah.
But yeah, no, I loved The Long Walk, and I know you weren't as huge on it, but you liked it too, right?
I did like it a lot. Yeah, it was a solid 7 out of 10 at least for me. It
Hell
was
yeah.
probably my highest. I think it was my highest 3-star movie that I gave out this year. It's very close, and I think my only real issue with it is just that like I kind of felt like at a certain point they had run out of things to do, like with the physical space of like the different like devices they can use to create tension around like who might die next and stuff like that. Like things start to like run a little stale with that at a certain point.
That's
But
fair.
but by that point you're also like invested so much in the key drama between David Johnson and Cooper Hoffman that it doesn't matter that much. I don't think like you're still like the last bit of the movie still works, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Yeah. Real quick before if you want, I can open up a comment real quick. I'm just gonna change the lighting in here because the sun is starting to. I don't know if you can see. It's like starting to envelop me, so I don't want it to blind me.
No worries.
Let me just pick a comment for
what we got.
Go on. Let's see. Here we go. Cool. Be right back.
Okay. Pedro Pascal in Fantastic Four and Materials. Yeah, like Pedro's like an interesting person to me because I haven't loved a lot of what Pedro's been doing recently, but I really, really liked him in Eddington. Like, I think Eddington was the one where I was like, no, okay, I kind of see the vision here. The comments about Pedro Pascal being in a couple of movies this year. And no, I'm not the biggest Pedro fan, but I really love him in Eddington. And I think even though I wasn't huge on Fantastic Four, I thought he was pretty good in it. He's doing his standard stuff, but like I've had my issues with Pedro over the last few years, just being kind of very like so, I guess. Like he's fine. Like he's never given a bad performance, but I'm more so just like, he's okay.
Yeah.
He's interesting in Materialist, I'll say.
For me, it's not so much his fault. It's their writing. The most of it is like the thing stuff I don't like Materialist, which we'll talk about in the next video. Is the writing.
But he's trying.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He also says, "I watch Weapons. It's not my kind of movie." Yeah, no, I figured that. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I thought the second half of the movie was intriguing because the mystery starts to unravel. Yeah, no, it's a pretty like satisfying little mystery. I think where it ends up going. It's simple, but it's I think they pay it off well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like you said, last year's scene was pretty brutal. Yeah, for sure. It was nice seeing Benedict Wong outside of Marvel movies.
That's true. I like Wong. He's great.
He's also in The Martian.
I need to see The Martian.
You should watch it before Project Hail Mary. I have a feeling it's going to be
Project Hail Mary, but I'll watch The Martian.
I have a feeling it's going to be a lot better than Project Hail Mary. Because honestly, I think it's a great adaptation of the book because you kind of have like Ridley Scott has a great visual sensibility. The material is very good, but the material is a little goofy at times, but he kind of weighs it down. Like there's real like kind of survivalist kind of things going on in that, and a lot of the humor is very vulgar as well. Project Hail Mary is more like it's the humor is much cleaner because like the character in the book is like a teacher and everything. It kind of feels like Lord and Miller are going to really like play up the silliness, which I'm not really excited about, but but we'll see. Yes, that's the Stephen King one. Yeah, and I think a lot of people have been really enjoying that this year. Yes. I think, and then we got Mad Vinyl 75. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, welcome. Saying Presence, Weapons, One Battle After Another, Die My Love are my top favorites. That's a cool list. Yeah. Center's good, but knowing the twist before ruins a lot. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to it because I think it works better. It survives the From Dusk Till Dawn like dilemma for me. I think it ends up working out better than that one. Begonia, a bit of a letdown after Loving Poor Things. Yeah, I can understand that. I felt similarly, but I still liked it. And then Mickey 17 was disappointing. Another movie I liked, but yeah, was a little let down by in comparison to some other
Bong Joon-ho movies. Mickey 17 even came out this year. I'm gonna be real.
That's fair. Yeah, it was like really early. Like it's funny because it was like one of the most anticipated movies on Letterboxd earlier this year, and I think I kind of like started to get like bad vibes about it when it was just kind of dumped in March. It was like, yeah, like that's not the best time for it to come out. Yeah, so unfortunate, but yeah. So you just did your number 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. My number 5, coincidentally, because you just brought this up when you were talking about it, but it's The Life of Chuck. Yeah. Wow, we have a lot of synergy with this list. It's a transition as well.
We do.
So yeah, this is another Stephen King adaptation. This is is The Long Walk also a short story, or is it like a?
The Long Walk is it's a novel. It's like 200-300 pages.
Okay,
so it's like a book. Yeah.
Yeah. Life of Chuck is shorter than that, and it's also much more recent. He actually wrote this during COVID. And I said this in my review. It very much feels like something that somebody would have written during COVID, especially like an older person, because the first half of the movie, or the first like third, I should say, is this thing where it's the world is clearly like coming to an end in some way. Like there's all this kind of apocalyptic stuff happening where like communication networks are going down. There's natural disasters everywhere. There's the scene with Matthew Lillard that I kind of have mixed feelings about, but he like kind of talks about like all of the stuff that's going on in the world and all the people that they're dying, etc. And throughout this segment of the movie, you see you'll see a different like billboards pop up all over town that the main character, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, sees, and it's this billboard with Tom Hiddleston on it, and he's just wearing like an accountant's suit, and it says, "Thank you, Chuck, for 39 wonderful years," basically. And everybody's trying to figure out like, who is Chuck? Like, what does any of this mean? There's like radio advertisements about it, all this. And so how much, it's hard to talk about because I'm wondering how much of this I want to give away. I don't know if I want to give away what the rest of the movie is, but it's something. So what you've been seeing in the first half is just like part of a piece to a larger puzzle. and I won't say exactly what the connection is to everything, but it turns into a very different kind of movie. And in the second kind of third of it, although it's a very short sequence, only like 15 minutes, there's this amazing bit where Tom Hiddleston as Chuck comes out, and he's like in this town square, and there's like a woman playing the drums, and he just starts sort of like jamming along to the beat, and eventually like she starts to sort of like pick up the beat and like gets him to dance more, and he shows that he really has the moves, and he ends up dancing with this other woman in what is essentially like a Gene Kelly style, like sort of like 50s style like musical set piece. It's just one of the greatest expressions, like sort of abstract expressions of joy I've seen in the film in a long time. And then the third half, I won't say entirely what it is, but it's more typical for what you would think of with Stephen King. It reminded me a lot of like Stand By Me or something like that. It's sort of like a childhood sort of coming of age thing. And yeah, just I think I went into this having seen only one other Mike Flanagan film. I think I'd seen Gerald's Game, which I also a Stephen King adaptation that I liked until I didn't.
You're not one of the ending truthers.
I'm not a Gerald's Game ending truther. But I did like it before that, though. I thought it was a really good, like, sort of one location thriller. But this is like, even though there's a lot of, like, I think Mike Flanagan, he likes to adapt Stephen King very faithfully, and he's very true to Stephen King's schmaltz, I will say. But I think he does it really well here. I think this finds a nice balance of being a film that very much has death and existential, dread on its mind, but is one of the most like hopeful, like sort of life affirming things I've seen, and in a long time. And I don't know, I left the theater, even though the film is again very much about death, and it leaves you with that note. I left the theater just feeling so glad to be alive, I think. And it was one of the best sort of getting to discover a movie as it goes along sort of experiences I've had in a theater this year. So
no, that's totally fair. I loved it too. I'm a little more critical on Mike Flanagan's recent catalog. I mean,
you've also seen more of it than me. I've just seen Gerald's Game, so I
think Flanagan kind of, he has like a monologue problem where his characters kind of just go on and on, particularly in the series that he's done, the like Netflix stuff like Midnight Mass. I did not care for at all. Although I think Haunting of Hill House is still probably the best thing he's made. If you've got like 7 hours or however long it is free, check out Haunting of Hill House. It's genuinely pretty great. But no, for the most part, I've had issues with Flanagan over the years, but no, Life of Chuck really worked for me. I thought it was the right level of schmaltz, like you were mentioning. It's very like faithful to that kind of like those sensibilities of like more modern King, I would say. And no, I just found it like remarkably charming and great performances like across the board.
Hiddleston's really, I'm. This is one of the movies I think that I'm bummed out the most is not getting any like awards attention, because it like we were talking about earlier, it won the People's Choice Award at TIFF last year, and then it just strangely like it kind of got dumped, which is weird because it was bought by Neon, and like this was something that I could totally have seen them like promoting the shit out of. And no, it just kind of like came out at a weird time of year where I think it kind of got forgotten by people who pay attention to awards. So I don't think it's really going to get any kind of consideration.
Which is funny because they're doing the same thing for that new movie from the Raw director.
Alpha.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing where like they gave it a limited release in October in some places in the States, but it's not getting a wide release over there until like February or March or something. When it's been out, it's like it's on Blu-ray in some countries in the world already. Like I think it's online, so I'm just like, what are you doing, guys? Like, I get that they want to do the like Osgood Perkins approach for most films, where it's like, oh, we'll have this level of mystery and like intrigue for the marketing, but you could have done that with Chuck. Like it's like kind of a
Yeah.
perfect movie to have that kind of marketing campaign. And also it's the first Mike Flanagan movie like filmed in what, like 6 years or something, 5 6 years.
Was Doctor
So
Sleep the last one, or
yeah, Doctor Sleep was his last film.
Oh yeah, because he's just been doing shows. Yeah, he did like
Yeah, so
Midnight
like
Mass, and yeah,
they could
okay.
have really the cast is stacked. Like it's an insane cast on paper. Like if you're looking at how many people, they could have done it. They could have done the film so much better. Like
Yeah,
they kind of did the film an injustice. It
yeah.
sucks.
And it sucks
But
because
no,
I do love Neon. I think they do great work for the most part. But yeah, it was a weird little misstep, I think, earlier in the year.
at least they promoted the hell out of Shelby O.
That's true. Forgot about that. Oh, worked out well for them. What is your number 4?
Okay, so I think my 4 and 3 they're absolutely gonna make your list.
Okay.
So I feel like we should just like if either of these are higher, I feel like one of these is going to be higher on your list. So I'm fine with just waiting until we reach it on your list. If so,
If it's also my number 4, then we can do it. But we'll see. Yeah.
My number 4 is One Battle After Another.
Okay. All right. There we go.
What's yours? Wait,
it's not one. I won't go into it yet because it's not that. But yeah.
Is it high?
It's higher than that. Yeah.
Okay. We can wait until.
Well, you can do it. You can do a little thing on it real quick, and then we can come back to it.
One Battle After Another, like the what, like 10th, 11th PTA movie or something. He's been making films forever. Yeah. I don't need to introduce who Paul Thomas Anderson is. No, one of the most glorious movies I've seen all year. It's absolutely incredible. It's kind of I still need to see. The only PTA I haven't like fully watched is Inherent Vice, but I've heard this is kind of a great companion piece to like the vibes of Inherent Vice just cranked up. Like you've seen Inherent Vice, right?
I have, yes.
I've heard.
Yeah, there's some similarities to it for sure. I think they both have a sort of political, like paranoia thriller logic on their mind, but the difference is that One Battle After Another, I think, is a very conventional, like, we have to go save this person kind of thriller. Whereas Inherent Vice, I can't tell you what the plot is like at all.
Like, and in ways, they're kind of both stoner comedies.
Yeah. This is more Big Lebowski, though.
Like that's very underselling. That's underselling what One Battle After Another is. But like, the core gimmick of One Battle for me is just stoned Leo for 2 hours. I'm fine with that. I think it's awesome that's like one of the biggest blockbusters of the year. It's just
yeah.
Now, thank you, Warner, for giving PTA money just to let fucking Leo act stoned for 2.5 hours. That's amazing. But no, it's basically Star Wars. I realized this recently, but One Battle After Another is Star Wars. Like, if you think about it, it's a film about, oh no, there's a big evil bad guy who's a very big evil bad, like dictatory evil villainy character with a really, really elusive name who's kidnapped somebody and they want to go get the person back. It's Star Wars, which I'm fine with. I think that's great. I love the PTA made Star Wars with Leonardo DiCaprio. Again, I'll wait until we reach it on your list because I know it's going to be on your. I knew it was going to be on your list. It has to be. It's incredible. Yeah. But no, just one of the most like exhilarating experiences I've had in the cinema all year. It's so funny. Yeah. It's so well acted. Chase Infinity is incredible, and I hope she's in like a billion other things in the future. Like she's just like one of the shining like new discoveries of the year. Really can't.
Yeah, what a crazy discovery that was. Too. And it's not like Cooper Hoffman kind of had his breakout in Licorice Pizza. Alana Haim, same thing, but. Those people were already well known in other ways, not necessarily for their acting. Whereas Chase Infinity is like truly plucked out of nowhere for the most part.
Yeah. So, no, just a remarkable film that we'll get into even more in a little bit. What's your number 4?
That's great. My number 4. I'm actually wondering if it's your number 3. Sinners.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do it. Let's just do it jointly then. Cool. This is Ryan Coogler's most recent film after doing a couple. Did you do 2 Creed movies? Like, Okay, that's what I thought. He did one
he
and
did
two.
the first Creed movie, and I think he produced the other two, and then he did
Yeah.
both Black Panther
Right.
movies.
Yeah, the Black Panther as well. So he had been doing like a lot of like really big budget like filmmaking for a while. I think he was you could make the argument he was one of those directors kind of stuck in the Marvel machine a little bit.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
especially with like the the tragedy of like how to handle Black Panther 2 after Chadwick Boseman dies. Like, that's an awful situation to be in. But yeah, apparently he had something like he had this movie in the works for a while. This is a for the first like hour or so of the movie, it really is just this historical period drama that it fits very. What's this first film that he did? I haven't seen it, but it's like
Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station. Yeah, it's like you can kind of see with it's him from what I understand going back to stuff like that where he's really interested in this particular piece of history and just kind of depicting the environment as well as possible.
Yeah.
About these brothers Smoke and Stack who come back from their various lives. I think one of them was in Chicago or something, and they go back to their town in Mississippi to put on this giant music show essentially from this barn that they bought. And they start like recruiting people to put that on. And then when everybody gets there and the party starts going on, vampires show up, I will say, sort of from Dusk Till Dawn style. But the reason I'm not going to call that a spoiler is because it pretty much shows you the first shot of the movie gives you horror right away with that like scene in the church. And then, they even show you like the specific like vampire stuff kind of building throughout. So you're I thought it worked so much better than Dusk Till Dawn, where that really just comes out of nowhere, and I think kind of like totally messes up the tone of what that movie is. This like is very much of a piece like the whole time, and it's got some of the most incredible like music set pieces I think I've seen in a while. Like the Ludwig Göransson score is great, but just all the stuff that they've that all these performers kind of composed together. There's so many great tracks I've had playing on my playlist like through the whole year. That big like Irish dance Rocky Road to Dublin set piece I feel like was just made for me like in a lab. I loved it. And probably the best, maybe the single greatest sequence of the year is that one when they're having the party and it goes through, it's that long take that goes through like all of the different periods of like black music and kind of intertwines with the same song, and it kind of all the spirits of these artists are kind of like waking up in like a horror way. Just terrific. It's just one of the most creative things I've seen in a long time, and it's so I think twice in theaters and once at home, or no, I saw it once in theaters and then at home I bought the Blu-ray as well. So really, really incredible.
Amazing movie. I basically echo everything you've got to say about it. It's just one of the most magical films I've seen this year. Like it just felt like a truly like independent vision on this like huge budget. I saw it in IMAX like 3 times, I think. Like I loved it. Like I went back to see it with like me and a few friends caught it, and then we went back to see it multiple times. And I can't really remember the last time, but just like I heard people, just like friends who were like, no, I have to go back and see this again, because it really is like, it was such an amazing. Like, did you see it in IMAX?
I didn't see it in IMAX. I think I saw it on the biggest theater that the Alamo had in my area, so that was good. But yeah.
The IMAX like presentation was just unbelievable. The shifting aspect ratios. I know they kept that for the Blu-ray, which I'm so happy about. Like where like the picture like
it changes a couple times.
It's just it was so incredible, and it's so great to see like. I don't want to say like it's great to see Ryan Coogler still has it, because I didn't see his second Black Panther. I will get around to it at some point. But like you said, he was kind of in the Marvel machine for a little bit, and it's nice to see him doing like an original film on this like huge like big budget scale, very similar to like One Battle as well, where we're getting these like author driven projects for Warner financing. And I hope like we've got the Netflix acquisition coming up and everything.
We'll see what that does, but I mean there's so much up in the air with that right now, because it seems like for one, there's like Paramount's doing the like competitive bid for it, which I have mixed feelings about. I mean, there's reasons I wouldn't want Paramount to buy them, but I also think that it might be better than Netflix, at least for theatrical distribution. But and then there's also the question of like whether the deal even gets to go forward anyway, because it's so obviously anti-competitive, and like, you know, even like some people in the like Trump has kind of said like, hey, I don't want this. This seems like it would be bad for competition. So if even we're getting that, so it's like hopefully people will step in, but we'll see what happens with it. Like you said,
I hope we get more cool auto-driven projects like Wombattle and Sinners, because it's kind of like a remarkable back-to-back to have those come out just within the space of a few months. Because no, Sinners again, just like, it's just unbelievable film, and same for One Battle After Another. Just like, I love them both. Really love Jack O'Connell in the movie as well. Like, everybody's great. Michael B. Jordan is amazing in the movie.
Delroy Lindo, it's a shout out.
Oh, he's great. I hope he gets like a best supporting actor.
I hope so. It seems like there's so much competition for it this year that it seems unlikely, but yeah, he's really, I think, one of the greatest actors of his generation, and I hope he gets some recognition. Yeah,
one of the best. No, Sinners, amazing. It was my number one for a very, very long time.
Same.
I loved it. But no,
most of the year, I think it was my number one. Yeah.
It's a banger. It's a great time. It's great that, like, I feel like most years, whenever I'm looking at like my number one, most of the time, and in the case of this year for sure, it's like the off-kilter kind of like, whoa, that film made number one or whatever. But like, it's nice that this year there are so many films in my top 10 that are like just kind of like The Naked Gun kind of, and like One Battle After Another and Sinners and stuff. Just these big high-profile, big-budget films, because I feel like for a long time I'd associate big budget, especially in like American filmmaking, with like bland superhero movies and stuff like that, you know? So it's nice that we're getting these kind of like big scale, like just, I don't know, epics, I guess you could say. Epics are just like auto-driven vehicles, but like, I don't know, we need more of this. We need more Sinners and more One Battle over Ant-Man 3 or like Avengers 5 or something. Like, I don't know.
You know, Sinners did well enough in theaters. I think we will see more of this kind of stuff. And I think that, you know, I think in general, I sometimes, because there is a bleakness with the box office sometimes, but there's also, I think we're on the cusp of like getting our own 70s again, you know, like where like people are much less risk averse than they used to be. People want to see, like, you know, like a bleak ending is more commercial than it was, you know, 5 years ago, kind of thing. Like there is this, like, I think, you know, there's a hunger for more original things. So
100%.
I'm happy to see it. Yeah.
Oh, but no, great pick.
That was my 4 and your 3, right?
That was, yes. I got it. What's your number? My 1 and 2 kind of coexist. So you share your next 2. I'll share mine.
I'll go. Well, so my next one's Marty Supreme, and I could just go ahead and knock it out since you haven't seen it yet.
Yes, go. Okay. You can talk about it real quick, because I don't have much to say, but I'm very excited to see it.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, my number 3 is Marty Supreme. This is the new Josh Safdie movie. If you don't know, Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie from Uncut Gems and Good Time have split up, gone their separate ways. Benny made The Smashing Machine earlier this year, which I know you saw, and you're kind of so on it, right?
I thought it was like very like mediocre when I first saw it, and it's just soured like substantially after, because I watched not many people know this, or it's just not being talked about, but The Smashing Machine isn't really like a film. It's more so a shot-for-shot remake of a documentary that came out 20 years ago. And I watched the documentary after watching The Smashing Machine, and I was like, this isn't a screenplay. This is just dialogue from a documentary, just being like with Dwayne Johnson in like dress up. And I was like, this is the big project you're gonna do, Betty. After like Uncut Gems, you're gonna
I know.
remake a fucking documentary that no one's heard of. That's great,
Yeah.
by the way. I think as times went on, I've really soured on it, and I also think it has one of the more misogynistic, like female characters I've seen in a film. Where Emily Blunt exists purely so she can scream and have mental health problems,
Oh, sure.
crises throughout the entire film. She doesn't have a character outside of that. I think it's really, really like awful and like deeply misogynistic. No,
Okay. Yeah.
the more I think about Smash Shit, I really don't like it. So,
Okay. Okay.
but I
Yeah.
feel like I'm gonna love Mighty Supreme.
Yeah, because people have been saying that like maybe Josh was the one with the sauce the whole time, kind of thing. I don't want to go that far into just because like I love Good Time and Uncut Gems, and I don't want to just say that it's all Josh Safdie, especially when this could have just been like the Smashing Machine could have just been a project that Benny was super passionate about. Who knows what he's going to do? What he's going to do next, right? But no, Marty Supreme is it's actually kind of crazy, like how like people have said this that sometimes great directors just keep remaking their masterpiece over again over and over again.
Yeah.
And that like you can make a very good argument that Marty Supreme is just like Uncut Gems again to an extent. Like it's the characters are so similar, and the trajectories are so similar, and the tension of the movies are so similar. But this one, it just had this. For one, it had this much more like obviously fun energy to it because it's a sports movie, and it had this big like old Hollywood sort of grandiose scale to everything, in a way that I found so impressive. So it's about, if you don't know, it's about Marty Mauser, who's this legendary table tennis player who was very much like at the forefront of the sport, like right when it was starting to get popular. He was, trying to make a living in it and everything. And he is a very good table tennis player, but he's not always as great as he thinks he is. Like there is a bit where he loses a match and he is absolutely like the worst sport in the world about it. Like he's a horrible sportsman. Like he just like he like demands a rematch instantly and like starts like yelling at the other player. But Timothy Chalamet plays Marty Mauser, and I think it's pretty easily his best work, to be honest. Because I mean, and some of the other stuff he's been in, he's either like a heartthrob or like a everyman kind of character, or like in huh?
Or Bob Dylan.
Or Bob Dylan. That's true. He is very good as Bob Dylan.
I think it's great.
Yeah, and like his Dune acting is very like stiff and all that. But but no, this is like he completely transforms into another person, and it did remind me a lot of the Adam Sandler character in Uncut Gems, but more like kind of in the same way as like you can totally see how the even though he's such an asshole, there's a charming enough quality to him where you can see how he kind of weasels his way into other people's lives and ends up kind of destroying things. Because the reason I know you're going to love it is because it is probably the best film I've seen this year in the it all goes wrong category genre. That's just what the whole movie is. It's like this MacGuffin device where he's trying to get to Japan for this big tournament, and then he needs this thing for it, but in order to get that, he had to go into debt with this person, so he has to go through this whole ordeal here. But then he runs into Abel Ferrara as a gangster, and then there's a whole subplot that develops from that that's really crazy. And so it's if you like the anxiety attack of like Good Time and Uncut Gems, you'll absolutely love this. And similarly to those movies too, it has an incredible score from Daniel Lopatin, who I think he retire his One of Tricks Point Never name. It seems like he's just going down by Daniel Lopatin now.
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember, but it's a great score, very different. It's much more like where his other scores are a little bit more modern in their kind of synth stuff. This is more like classic 80s synth. This is like, okay. I think it's trying to riff a little bit on like the Chariots of Fire or like those other sort of 80s like sports movie scores. And the ending to the film, while not as like hopelessly bleak and like climactic as something like Uncut Gems, it's very climactic in a different way. And it's so strange because you just the more you watch the film, the more you kind of hate this guy, the more you're like, just stop ruining other people's lives, like just retire this dream, or whatever. And when you kind of see the result that it goes for, you kind of, you're happy for him, you kind of like feel this like this weight off your shoulders at the same time. And then the final shot of the movie has this tinge of like triumph and regret and like horror at the same time. It's incredible. I totally see why everybody's been loving it, and I loved it just as much. So yeah, I can't wait for you to see it. I can't wait to talk to you about it. Yeah.
So you're telling me Josh Safdie remade After Hours for a third time, and it was still a banger?
It's still a banger. Like I read Josh Lewis's review, and he said at the end, he was like, yeah, I could see the argument that this is just like, he's just doing it again. But he's like, if he makes one of these every 5 years and it's just as good every time, then I'll keep watching them. And that's pretty much how I feel too.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm sure I'll have a good time at the very least. No pun intended. I'm doing really good at that today. Holy shit. I keep coming up with so many great puns. But no, I'm sure I'll like it.
Oh, and man, I can't wait to talk to you about Abel Ferrara in it.
I'm excited. I love seeing him act. I saw him act in his debut film,
Nine Lives of okay. 9 Lives of something that maybe we shouldn't say on stream.
Yeah, I don't even think we should discuss that movie on stream. But no,
Letterboxd counts it as porn.
It is. It very much is. But no, it's. No, I was gonna say it's coming full circle, and then say that's a pun, but that's terrible. But no, Abel, seeing him on the big screen is gonna be delightful. I can't wait. No, I'm really, really excited.
Awesome.
What's your number 2? I'm gonna.
Oh, that was my number 3. So, I think it'd be your number 2. But real quick, can we do we have a comment from Jason? We'll just do that real quick, and then.
Of course.
Yeah. So. Good, a movie I can agree with you on, Sinners. Yeah, it has been a lot of movies that I like. I know you weren't huge on Jason, but yeah, I know you did like Sinners, so
yeah.
Happy about that. Yeah,
I'm glad you liked Sinners, man.
Yeah, where would Sinners, like, I don't know if you've done your like end of the year list yet, but like where would Sinners like rank for you out of the ones that?
Yeah, no, I'd be interested to hear that too. Can we get the Jason top 5?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Unless
you don't want to spoil it for your channel.
Yeah, because you might have some videos coming up and everything. But I'd be curious to hear some of your favorites from the year too.
Yeah. So Marty Supreme was my number 3. Your number 3 was Sinners, right? Yeah. So what's your number 2?
I'm not going to share my number 2 yet. I'm going to do 1 and 2 together. So
I think I know what you're doing here. Okay.
Yeah.
So how about I do my number 2? We can talk about it together, and then we'll do our number 1s, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Because my number 2 is One Battle After Another. So I think we can talk about it together.
Yeah.
So this is Paul Thomas Anderson's first film since Licorice Pizza a few years ago. He seems to be making films like he I guess 4 years isn't a huge gap, but he's had much larger gaps between some of his other films and stuff. So
yeah,
he very much lets these boys cook when he's working on them. And this is his. Is it his most expensive movie? I feel like it probably is.
By a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's like 150 million or something. It's a massive movie that did not do entirely well. Given, I think if it would have been made on a slightly smaller budget, I still think it probably would have made as much money as like that. That's kind of the thing. But man, what we got is so. Every dollar's on the screen. Like it looks incredible. It is like some of the most gorgeous like cinematography of the whole year. The performances too. I mean, that really is. I think the cast is probably where a lot of the money's going on screen.
Yes.
So yeah, it's Leonardo DiCaprio plays this like washed up revolutionary. He was very much like a Weather Underground coded group that does like political violence but and they do things like sabotage radio towers and that kind of stuff. But they so he's separated from his like partner in the group. Like she goes missing, and she has a kid with him, and so he raises the kid, and like decades later, like she's like the kid's like 16, 17 at this point. His old enemy, who's a member of this like it's very clear that like there's a lot of militarization in the police of the police in this stage of American society. So this is like this is based on off the Thomas Pynchon novel Vineland, which was set in like a dystopian. I think it was supposed to be like the 1980s. The idea was supposed to be like post-Nixon, sort of like bringing like the Vietnam War like militarization home was the idea. And but it's a very loose adaptation, and it is more set, I think, in our modern times, because a lot of the images that you see are very much just like stuff you see on TV now, like ice raids and shit. So basically like the Sean Penn plays Colonel Lockjaw, who is a member of this military, like of like the military that and he sort of took down the French 75, this revolutionary group, and he had like sort of a romantic relationship, like a sort of ambiguous romantic relationship with the mother of Leo's child, where she was kind of like toying with him like sexually a little bit to try as a sort of a power dynamic, but also it's kind of left ambiguous as to what she thinks about him and vice versa. He's incredibly racist, obviously. Like there's a part where he like walks up to Leo in a supermarket and is like, do you like black girls? Like he just says this like totally randomly to him. She's like, well, I love them.
I love them.
And so the plot of the movie is that basically, oh yeah, it's Star Wars, exactly. Like so he's trying to go after the daughter, and they're trying to go after her at the same time to try and save her. So Leo, and it's just there's so much great like sort of dumb guy stoner detail. Like Leo just like hit like just like smoked a huge pipe, and he gets a call from a friend about like his daughter being kidnapped and everything, and he just starts panicking. He like has to use the crawl space to get out of the house. And he starts like calling up his ex-revolutionary friends, and he can't remember the password to any of their like code stuff. It's like a huge portion of the movie is him like trying to remember the password. It's so funny. Benicio del Toro is great in it. He runs this kind of Sensei Sergio, and he runs this like kind of underground railroad, and that's a fantastic set piece. That bit actually might be my favorite like sequence of a movie this year, is like the stress of trying to get the people like squared away at the same time. Like he's trying to charge his phone so he can like go after the next thing. Yeah. It's so like stressful and funny at the same time. This movie blends like anxiety inducing like stress with humor better than just about anything I've seen in a long time. And yeah, I just thought it was this great sort of like continuation of some of the Pynchon stuff he's been doing, like Inherent Vice, but in a much more like fun, like action movie kind of way. It has this amazing climax where they're driving through these hills in the California desert, and the camera is like placed on top of the car, so you like are experiencing it's almost like you're on a roller coaster ride, like literally for that last like segment of the movie.
Scorsese, watch this one.
And it's just, I don't know, it's for the funny thing is too, like even though I'm describing this as like a stoner comedy, I think it's maybe the darkest world that like PTA has ever portrayed. And he's done a lot of like American Greed, like sort of epics, and I mean, like he's just portrayed a lot of shitty characters and milieus and stuff throughout his movies, but this I think is probably the darkest he's gone, and yet it is as fun as it is a very strange combination, and it's got this really sweet kind of like family family members achieving understanding of each other, and then kind of showing political solidarity kind of ending that I think works really well. So this was just incredible.
It's a banger. One of the best. Such a banger. Oh, yeah. It's great.
And we have to also shout out the Johnny Greenwood score too, which is going to get snubbed at the Oscars, and I'm going to hate it.
The Johnny Greenwood score is great, and the licensed music choices are great too. Shout out to the scene where Mo Bamba plays in the at the high school. That like killed me when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck?
No sicko mode, Leon. Why are we going to play sicko mode in Mo Bamba?
I think there's some great like licensed needle drops in the film too. It's just it's great. I just want to watch it again. It's so much
Yeah,
fun. The
yeah.
best Star Wars film of the year. I'm gonna keep rolling with that because it's Star Wars.
It
It's
kind of
Star
is.
Wars.
It kind of is Star Wars. Yeah.
Um. Oh, but no, great pick.
Um,
Okay.
so for your
Yeah.
number one, do you want to just do both of them as one thing? Because I think I know what it is. But
Yes.
okay. I'm just
Yes.
checking.
This was a really like I'll give a bit of prep to those because most people probably have no idea about the films I'm even about to talk about. But my number one and two pick, which is why I was earlier saying Naked Gun kind of could count as my 10th pick because I'm lumping these in together as one thing, but on the list there, one and two, is Castration Movie Anthology Volumes 1 and 2 by filmmaker Louise Word. I was very unfamiliar with Louise's work until like 3 weeks ago or something. I'd heard rumblings about Castration Movie when it premiered digitally and had a few small screenings last year, but it really kind of propped up in the last few months where it had a kind of in the same vein as Hundreds of Beavers last year, where it was kind of like a road show. Like Louise was going to all of these different like small venues and stuff, and premiering the film, introducing the film, and doing those kind of like very independently driven like screenings for the film. And I think she's just finished or is just finishing the UK run now. Like she was in Scotland the other day. She's been like as close as Manchester, and this was like before. No, this was right after I just found out about the film, so I was really pissed because I would have loved to see these on the big screen. But Castration Movie is essentially this ongoing film project that I don't know how else to describe it other than something in the same vein as like you know how some people lump the Lord of the Rings films together as one big production because Jackson filmed them all at once?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that if there was just this independent filmmaker with like 55 grand filming stuff on like a HD camera that looks like something like that Lars von Trier would have used to film like Dancer in the Dark or something.
Oh, okay. Or like
And
the
it's just
idiots, like the sort of Dogma 95
yeah,
stuff.
just
Yeah.
very
Okay.
like very low budget, just kind of like DIY filmmaking essentially, and it's this just ongoing anthology mostly centered around trans people. Louise Word is a trans filmmaker herself, and she stars in the first film as the character Traps, who is part of the second anthology segment. It's going to get very confusing because I'm going to say second, but I'm going to be referring to things in the first one. I'll
Okay.
just describe it as one film. So, yeah, the first segment released digitally last year, and it's 4 hours and 36 minutes long, and it contains two segments. The first segment is called Incel Superman, and it's an incredible title, and it's essentially about this guy. He's in like his early 20s or something, and he works on like film lots and stuff. He's just like very minor, just kind of like a crafts guy essentially, and he spends his entire day days like pitching movies to people and gushing about how much he loves Superman and how he's gonna make this. He's like a writer, aspiring filmmaker, and he really wants to make a great movie, but he's going nowhere. He's just pestering people essentially, and he spends his entire life like basically acting like he's better than other people in an effort to kind of like just I don't know, escape the fact that he's very insignificant for lack of a better term. He's in a failing relationship with his girlfriend where all he does is sit around going on 4chan laughing at like incels
Oh
and
God.
stuff, and he's just like, oh yeah, these people suck so much, when like there's not that much difference between the people he's
Sure.
kind of humiliating. He's kind of a shitty boyfriend to her. He has his own stuff going on. Like there's so much going on. This first anthology segment is the first hour and a half of the movie, and it's the only segment of like castration movie as a whole so far that isn't centered around a trans person, but there is very much a case to be read. You could read into the film in many ways, dependent on like how it goes in volume 3 when we get that, if this will kind of pay off, and it does have its moments where it pays off, but
So just to be
it's
clear,
kind of
so 1 and 2 have come out. The third one is next year. Is
the
that
third one
the
is next year. The
okay?
third one is next year. The first volume contains two segments of the anthology. So it contains Incel Superman, which is an hour and a half, and then the last 3 hours of part 1 is the second segment, Traps, which is centered around a trans sex worker and her friends, essentially, living life as somebody who's, yeah, she's like, again, a trans sex worker. She's friends with tons of trans people, and you're essentially just hanging out with Traps and her friends for 3 hours. It's just kind of a hangout movie, but it gets like Traps kind of has fallen in love with one of her clients, and she really, really has like a strong connection with this guy who doesn't really see her in the same way, but she's like really latching on to this. You're seeing characters who are like having like surgery and stuff to transition from like female to male and stuff, and you're seeing like it's probably the most accurate depiction of like what it's like for trans people to exist in America, I would say, in a way that's so like eye-opening to me, but also just so engaging. Like I found it just so compelling, and even with the 4.5 hour runtime of Volume 1, I'm never bored with it. Like I think there's some really excellent filmmaking. It has such a great aesthetic to it, which might not work for some people, just given how like lo-fi and kind of crusty the whole film looks. But I think it really, really adds to just the overall like atmosphere and vibe of what's going on. And there's some great like cameo, like I guess cameos, I guess, or like bit roles from other like prevalent trans like artists working and everything. So Vera Drew, who directed and starred in The People's Joker, which very
Right.
much almost made my top 10. She plays one of my favorite like bit characters of the year in Volume 1. She's essentially a drug dealer where she's like a kind of a drug dealer, but she's also like Traps has been transitioning and getting her estrogen and stuff like from the black market essentially, instead of going like the traditional way. So Traps has to go to Vera Drew's character to kind of like get her daily stuff, get her stuff when she needs it and everything. But every time she goes around, she doesn't want to hang around Vera Drew because Vera Drew and her girlfriend are just like really fucking annoying. And the introductionary sequence is this like 10-15 minute sequence where Traps just really wants to get her stuff, go out. But the couple is just arguing because Vera Drew's girlfriend is really, really, really pissed off at her character because they've been together for 5 years and she still hasn't read her favorite book, which is Dune. And she's like, oh no, I can't. And she's just coming up with like all these excuses for why she hasn't read Dune yet. And then she's like, oh, you could have just listened to the audiobook or something. And she's like, yeah, but I've got tonight. And it's just like just this ongoing like feud between a couple. And then she's just really, really pissed off that she won't read this book that means so much to her. And there's so many great moments throughout both castration movie volumes where there's a segment that'll go on for 20, maybe 25, 30 minutes or something, and it's just people having like these really engaging or sometimes just absolutely insane conversations. And I think that's the heart of what really works for me. It feels like I think it's silly to say, given that we've been there's. I think it's like the 130th anniversary of film as a whole today. Ironically, like I think the first film came out 130 years ago. I saw somewhere online. That could be bullshit, but I'm just gonna roll with it for this case. But like, I feel like in the 130 years that we've had film, it's really hard to say, "Wow, this is something unique and original that I've never seen before." But in the case of what I've seen in both of these volumes so far of this like ongoing film project, I really can safely say there's stuff in this in both of these volumes that I have never seen in another film before, and it's one of the most exciting original like just like film projects that I can't wait to just keep up to date on, because Volume 3 comes out next year and is also 5 hours long, like the second installment. And I think there's plans for at least one or two more films.
Wow.
So by the end of it, I think Louise has said this in total, it will be about 18 to 19 hours long.
Twin Peaks: The Return.
Twin
Like,
Peaks: The Return style. Like,
wow.
honestly, it's such a huge undertaking that I can completely understand why somebody would be like, damn, I don't know if I want to sit down for 5 hours and watch a film, but it flies by. Like,
Well, I definitely want to see it. I think you pitched it at one point when we were talking about this earlier, and it was like fairly recently. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time over the holidays to watch this before our video, but I do want to see it because it sounds amazing. It sounds really unique.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah. And Volume 2, I've gushed so much about Volume 1. I'll just briefly go over 2 because I don't want to talk for too long. But I, if you can't tell, I'm very, very passionate about like my love for this. I rewatched Volume 1 today, actually. Like, I'm gonna rewatch Volume 2 soon. So I've sat through an almost 5-hour film twice in the space of 2 weeks. That's normal. But now Volume 2 is my friend Based Gizmo has described it. They described
real quick, which one is your number one and which one's your number two of the?
They're both tied. It's hard.
They're tied. Okay.
Different. Yeah. I think I like the first a little bit more, but I think the second's better. Like, I think the second is a lot more ambitious, I want to say. Like, and my friend described the film as the Godfather Part 2 of the castration movie, which honestly, I mean, I'm not huge on the Godfather films, but I completely understand why most people think the second Godfather is better than the first. And no, 2 is just like an insane epic about this character who is essentially trapped in a crazy secret trans sex cult that only eats hot dogs and speaks to a scary AI robot character on their computer. Some of them don't even eat, and they just fuck most of the time and stay underground and don't let anybody go upstairs. So I'm not kidding, like when I say like the first 2 hours of this movie are just contained in a basement.
Wow.
And then without like diving too much into it, the protagonist essentially gets out of there for a little bit and has one of the like I don't want to say like it's like a Safdie's level experience, but it's something where like the first 2 hours are so like just in your face and you're like, Jesus Christ. But then as soon as the character kind of escapes into the real world, it becomes kind of just like very, very unnerving and one of the more bleak and dour, miserable and kind of horrific things I've seen all year. There is a segment like 4 hours into the film, like 3 or 4 hours into the film, that feels like it goes on for an eternity, and it's just one of the more like upsetting things I've seen in recent memory. And all of the performances are great. And I do want to give a quick shout out to Ivy Walk, I think is her name, who was recently in Anora as one of the friends of like the kid. I forget who's the kid in Anora.
The Russian kid.
Say that again. Sorry.
The Russian kid.
Yeah, the Russian kid. One of his friends in the movie. She plays a character in this film in Volume 2, who is so unbelievably funny, but I hate her with every fiber of my being. The character, she is like genuinely like one of the most destructive human beings, but the film portrays her in such a way where she feels so real, and there are so many people like this that it's like kind of insufferable. But she's really funny in the movie at the same time. Like it's probably like the best thing she's ever gonna do, but like I can't really say too much about Volume 2 because Volume 2 is
it's contingent on you knowing things like
yes, it's a lot, and I feel like you could boil it down into like the general gist of everything, that would kind of ruin and give away like the big hook of what makes it so moving and kind of bleak and miserable. It made me very sad for like 2 days. Like I couldn't really like, it was one of those where I don't know if I watched much after it because I was like, Jesus Christ. But
Yeah.
one of the more powerful experiences I've had like all year. Both of them had their like theatrical runs this year, so I'm counting them both as films that came out this year. But yeah, you can buy them. I'm just gonna like I haven't done this for any of the other films, but I'm just gonna do this anyway. There's a website called Gumroad, I think it's called, where Louise has uploaded the films, and you can buy them for $5 American. And for $5, you get both movies and any future installments. You
Okay.
get actual downloadable copies of this. You can either stream them or download them onto your computer. And there's also like Q&As from some like Alamo Drafthouse screenings, I think, that have went around. So you get some like big like Q&As. And you can also buy a bundle with her old film. I think it's called Computer Hearts, which I still need to see. And you can get that in a bundle for like a separate like purchase for $5, or you can get it in a bundle with Castration Movie for like I think like 7.5, like 750 or something. But the Computer Dreams or the Computer Hearts bundle is insane because it has. I think Louise has stated over 100 hours of bonus content, and she's not
Wow.
lying because there's
Jesus.
like 5 different versions of the film, and you also get I think close to about 20 or 30 like short films Louise has either directed or worked on, as well as like 3 or 4 different feature-length films that she's edited, as well as commentaries, like deleted scenes, feature-length making of documentaries. Like it's one of the most insane things. So if you've got like 750 and you want to support independent film, go over to Gumroad and go buy these movies because it supports cool independent cinema, and we can get more insane shit like this, hopefully, for like however long Louise wants to continue making films. I cannot wait to see where this goes. It's a big ask to like recommend. Hey, watch this nine and
Yeah.
a half hour film.
Yeah, that is like the
So
main
far.
thing putting me off from it. But it sounds really cool. It sounds like, like is one of the more unique projects I've heard about.
Yeah, and
yeah.
also they have intermissions. Like both films have intermissions. So like if you were to want to watch like half of it and then finish it at a later date, I really don't think like it's not like a David Lynch thing where it's like you have to sit down and watch this entirely in one sitting, otherwise David Lynch will be looking down at you really angrily.
Right.
Like
Right.
I think Louise, like if anything, like I feel like these films were made to be watched on like a laptop or something, like given how like internet coded and like just I don't know. I feel like if you wanted to split these movies up into individual viewings or like segment viewings, I think they'd work perfect for that too. In the same way that like you can watch Twin Peaks, some people watch Twin Peaks: The Return all in one sitting. Crazy people, I could never do that. But like some people, because it's like considered a film by quite a few people, they'll sit down and lump it all in one viewing. You could technically do that for this or break it off into like 2 hour pieces here and there, and I think you'd still have like a great experience with it. If that kind of helps with the intimidation of that insane runtime.
Yeah. I think that's good to know that at least it's made with that in mind a little bit.
Yeah. No, it absolutely is. And no, I love these films so much, and I really just want to spread the word more so than anything, because I feel like most of the time when I'm shouting out a film, or I'm like I've looked back at some of my favorite films of the last few years, and it's like a toss up between like a few years ago it was like Beau is Afraid and like John Wick Chapter 4, and then I've got like Challengers and Better Man and stuff on like my top year list of last year. So it's really nice to just kind of throw something on. But first off, I'm just insanely passionate about, and regardless of like the budget and everything, it would have like been my favorite film of the year anyway. But just it's so cool that like my favorite film of the year, next to like these $100 million epics like Sinners and One Battle After Another.
Would you say this costs like 55,000 or something?
55,000 Canadian. So that's like even less. Like that's the first film. I don't know how much the second film cost, but again, they're very like comparable in terms of like the scale. Although no, I feel like two's a little more ambitious. Even then, I don't imagine it would be much more. Like combined, maybe like 100 grand Canadian, maybe. No, it's such a small project, but it's something that the fans and the people who watch this who really latch onto it love it, and I completely get why. Like 100%. It's like one of the best projects of like that's currently going on, and I cannot wait. Like, I'll watch like another 10 of these. I don't care. Like, if it was like a 60-hour film and it finished in like 2050 or something, I'd be game for that, honestly.
Oh yeah.
It's so great. And I can't wait for volume 3. Maybe I'll at some point I'll watch like the first segment with you, like the first hour and a half, and see how you feel about it, and then maybe finish it another time with you. Because I
Yeah,
would
that could be
love to
fun.
see your experience with this, because it's very unique.
Yeah.
But anyway, amazing film. Castration movie. Go support it. Support independent filmmakers. What's your number one?
Awesome. My number one is a film I saw a couple months ago, and this is one, unfortunately, that is not out in the UK yet. And actually, in some parts of the states, it's not out yet. But because it is in like a good, I think in like certain big cities, it's playing right now, and it'll be, I think it'll be like in mainstream theaters next week. So I don't have a problem
Hamnet?
calling this a 2025 movie. What'd you say?
Hamnet?
No, no. This is No Other Choice, directed by Park
Oh,
Chan Wook.
yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
yeah, the last film he did was Decision to Leave, which was this interesting like sort of noir movie, very much like a cop who's investigating this woman for possibly killing her husband, and he becomes very down bad for her. He falls much more for her than he should, given his position, and it becomes this sort of almost like identity thriller a little bit. Park mixes in a lot of the big takeaway for me from Decision to Leave was that he's in a new era now where he's doing all of this like crazy stuff with digital. Like there's stuff where like basically the somebody is texting another character like on their phone, but the camera is looking at them, so you're inside of the phone and you're looking at the person, but you're also able to see what they're texting. Weird shit like that is just, it was all over the movie, and I remember thinking like, okay, I can't wait to see him do more stuff with this, even if the other parts of the film I struggled with a little bit. But this one, No Other Choice, is so it stars Lee Byung-hun, who you might know from films like I Saw the Devil and a lot of other great Korean cinema. He plays a guy who is at the beginning of the movie working at a paper factory. And I rewatched a few scenes. I didn't rewatch the whole movie yesterday, but I wanted to watch other stuff, like it was just an accident and stuff. But there were a few scenes I wanted to revisit. One of them is the opening scene where he's having this very like idyllic barbecue with his family, and it is so like cartoonishly perfect and idyllic to like, yeah, like they're in this beautiful house with this beautiful garden, and they have a couple of dogs, and like they're grilling up this barbecue and everything, and at one point he literally like hugs his whole family and goes, I've got it all. And and right then you're like, okay, something's gonna go wrong with this. Otherwise, no movie. He very quickly into the movie, he loses his job at this paper mill that he works at, and so this entire self-worth that's been like as the provider for this family, it's been taken away from him, and he's struggling a lot with that. I think the film gets to very universal ideas about that. Of like, I do think anybody who watches this film who's like on the job hunt, like, proceed with caution. I've heard a lot of people say it hits hard, but it's also very specific to like Korean society of like particularly men like having that like salary man role, and having it be so much your self-worth because you work such long hours and put all of your identity into the company and all that. So he's working for months, and he's trying to find a job for months, and it's not working out very well. And one day he finds a lead that he's like excited about and thinks could work, but there's a couple of other people that he knows are also being considered for the position. So what he does is he decides to eliminate the competition, and he goes on a hilarious murder spree.
Hell yeah!
It is like one of the funnier dark comedies, or one of the darkest funny movies I've seen in forever. The first murder scene, I won't spoil too much about it, but there's the thing I'll say is that there's like very loud music playing in the room, and the character, like he's talking to the character he's maybe about to kill, and it's so, the music is so loud though that it needs subtitles. Like you get the subtitles in English just for the movie, and then you also get subtitles in Korean because even the Korean audiences are like, the movie music's too loud. And it's so funny when what transpires, but and it's kind of just like one it all goes wrong sequence after another, to be honest. It's I think that and Marty Supreme are like my favorite movies in that genre, I think. And like the decision to leave, it has a lot of crazy stuff he's doing with the camera. There's this one shot in the trailer of where a character is drinking a beer and the camera is placed inside the beer glass, so you're like looking at like the beer go down into his throat essentially. And there's a couple of other really crazy things that happen, like with the the computer and like the phones and all that. So he's still getting to play with a lot of that really well, but he's doing it in this like in addition to all of the like the comedic stuff, it's very much a satire. Like the jokes are not just throwaways; they are very pointedly about all of these broader ideas that he's going for about precarious work. There's so much in there about automation and to a lesser extent AI, and kind of what happens to humans when we lose our purpose, essentially, and especially when work has been built so much to be our purpose over a long period of time, and for a lot of people their job is like a big part of their identity, and what happens when that's just taken away. And the answer is bleak. It's very much humans resort to violent desperation, I think, is the idea. And it has, I think, my favorite ending of the year too. It's this. Again, I won't spoil it, but I will say that there's a musical performance involved. There's a character in the movie whose music performance is kind of hinted at a lot throughout the film, and when it happens, it's sort of silently, like it's a beautiful piece of music, and then it's showing you images that just send home all of the themes Parker's going for. About, again, like it's sort of. The last shot of the scene is of the movie is sort of expressing this idea that like we have built an economy that's only purpose is to like make everything as efficient as possible, regardless of what it does to actual people. It's almost like this machine is just like self-sustaining. It's not built by anyone anymore, and it doesn't actually serve anyone anymore. So it's a really, really interesting idea, like kind of like Eddington and like One Battle After Another. I think it's maybe the film that captures like our time like the best. Out of what I've seen. And it kind of like, I knew I was probably gonna like this, like Park, I've really enjoyed so many of his films: Old Boy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, The Handmaiden, of course. But after like being a little bit middle of the road on Decision to Leave, I still quite like the movie, but it was a little bit lesser for him for me. This was just like, it just blew me away. Like I just had such a great time with this. So
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I was really hoping that the release would be a little faster. I also think that some of the Oscar buzz has unfortunately died down a little bit for it. Like it kind of seems like it might not get like a Best Picture nom, or like some of the stuff that it was maybe going to get. I mean, who knows? But maybe it'll pick up a little bit again when it like fully is released like mainstream stateside. But I don't know.
Hopefully. Yeah. But no, I'm really excited to check it out. I'm very excited. But no, holy shit, we spoke about a lot of movies. We did, yeah. It's been a good year.
I think it's been a good year. Like it's I think I kind of said to a friend of mine just a month ago that I was like, I think it's been a bit of a down year. And then I think some of the films I've seen recently, like a lot of the festival stuff, like The Secret Agent, it was just an accident, no other choice. Like some of the stuff I was really excited about, I was like, it paid off as much, if not more, than I was hoping. And there's still a lot of really solid stuff throughout the year, some of which was made on like a huge scale, like again, Sinners, One Battle After Another. So even some big blockbusters were fun. F1, I had a great time with.
F1 was a good time.
Yeah. So those are our favorite films of the year. Do you have anything else you want to send home?
Stay stay tuned for the next. Oh wait, are we doing worst next, or are we doing favorite discoveries?
Let's do worst next, because we can keep it the 2025 stuff, and then we can do first time watches of 2025.
I'm looking at this list, and this is bleak.
Yeah. I'm gonna have more fun though. I'm gonna have more like there's stuff I can have more fun ripping into this year as opposed to last year where there were so many where I was just like, it's bad. I don't have much to say about it.
But I'll say, like, in my top 10, there's only, I think there's only like one or two blockbusters. Really, most of it is
yeah.
Oh,
there's one huge budget. There's one like huge budget one that like. Oh, can you call it a blockbuster because it was on Netflix? But
yeah. No, we've got that. I've got that. And then there's also a sequel that pivoted into like it had blockbuster ambitions when it really shouldn't have. It's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna have to talk about more than 10 of these because
also I think I've got more A24 films than I've ever had on a worst of the year list. So do better, A24. We'll get there.
I don't know if I've got any A24 films. I've
got two at least. I think I need to check.
I've got one. I've got a few Neon movies, or I've got one Neon movie. Oh, it's gonna be fun. But we'll do that.
It'll be fun. Maybe the first would work for me because I'm off from work. But if it doesn't work for you, then we can figure something else out.
Depending on what time Mighty Supreme finishes, I'm more than down to, because I'm seeing Mighty Supreme earlier in the day anyway, so I'd probably be able to. We'll figure this out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
No.
Well,
yeah, it was very fun. Thank you so much for having me. That was fun.
Absolutely, I love this. This is like my favorite video to do every year. So it's great.
Mine too.
Thank you everyone for joining. Josh, Matt Vinyl, Jason, Brady, Lucas, Danny, thank you everybody for commenting. Really appreciate you guys. And stay tuned for the worst of the year video, and then Leon and I will also be doing our favorite first time discoveries stream. So these are movies that we watched for the first time in 2025 but didn't come out this year, so that's always a really fun one to do as well. Looking forward to both those, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you soon. Bye.
It's counting down.